Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's the big one. It's Manchester United versus Liverpool in what is a massive, massive game in any Premier League season, but specifically to this one. It's big for Liverpool, but we don't care about them and their polished duster kit. We care about Manchester United and we need to win. I think it's very clear that we need to win this game. You need to be beating Liverpool at Old Trafford no matter where you are in the league, whether you're fighting for titles or whether you're trying to stay up. You do need to be winning this game, but we need to be winning this game for many reasons. There is a story behind this game. There is people who feel it could be Ollie's last game. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think it's the right mindset. I get that, but I would park that until 90 minutes or maybe 95 minutes because you don't know how long the game's going to last. But for me, conversations about Solskjaer's future, whether he's good enough, the coaching, everything like that, I do feel this is probably the one game of the season, and Anfield as well, where you sort of, it's not even sort of, you've got to be behind the team as a Manchester United fan. You have to be. You've got to want to win this game. And as you can see, Ronaldo against Salah, Klopp against Ollie, Manchester United against Liverpool. And look at that league table. Look at that league table. I'm telling you now, it's not looking favourable. We got a bit lucky yesterday with Watford coming back against Everton. Otherwise, we would have been down to, I think, 7th or 8th. And ultimately, at the moment, we are in 6th place, but we've got the same amount of points as quite a lot of teams. I mean, Brentford equalising against Leicester does us a favour because Leicester were closing in on us as well. We've currently got 14 points, but so have West Ham, so have Everton, so have Arsenal, who are in 9th. So we can say we're in 6th, but really we're joint with 9th as well. So we've got to start winning games because with Man City to come and Spurs away, there's not a, we could end up being like 10th, 11th by the international break if this all goes wrong. But look, the lineups are going to be coming out. Lots of people are talking about the lineups. I don't know what the official lineup is, but I have heard a lot of rumours that McFred is starting, that there's no Fabinho or Mane for Liverpool. I don't know what that's all about. I'm hearing that there's no Pogba in the team, that Rashford starts. I don't know. I actually do not know what the official lineup is. But to be honest with you, I would expect it to be that team on the screen that we've got next to me there. I would expect it to be McTominay and Fred, Lindelof and Maguire, obviously Wan-Bissaka and Shaw with De Gea in goal. I would expect it to be Ronaldo with Bruno in behind him and probably Greenwood and Rashford. And the reason I think he'll go with that is because it's the team he started against Atalanta. And we've heard through Solskjaer and we've heard through McTominay that this is the team he believes is the right team. And he believes we played well in the first half against Atalanta. So he's going to go with that team. And as I said, I don't like that team. But today, to me, is not a game where I start going, I can't believe he's bench Pogba, this, that, and the other. We have and are capable of winning this game with that team. Long term, I just think it's just another example of why he is under pressure. Because how can you bench Paul? What a failing as a coach to bench Paul Pogba. What a failing as a coach to spend £74 million on a winger and not pick him. These things stand, but I can't look at that because I've got to look at this. And Manchester United need to win this game today. The official team news will be coming out in the next 4 or 5 minutes because it's 4:30 kickoff and it's not 3:30 here yet. But there's a lot of leaks about what the team is going to be. But we're hearing that McTominay, look, I did say that as well. All these rumours about knocks for Fred and Bruno and Rashford. A knock to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer means you're fit. If you're limping around and you're not having an operation, you're fit enough to play. He's proved that time and time again. He did it last week with Harry Maguire. So we believe the team will be the same team that started against Atalanta, but we'll get confirmation of that in a few minutes. How's everybody thinking anyway? How's everybody feeling about this game? Are you excited? I'm sure you are. Are you confident? I think it's going to be a draw. I do. I think it will be a draw today. That's my feeling in relation to it. But we'll get into that and delve into that in a moment. First of all, I've just got to say we've got 2 big things to announce today in relation to who is sponsoring our show. It's Spond. They've sponsored us before. Spond is a free, inclusive and easy-to-use platform for organising grassroots sports and events. You can also organise events for your mates, like you can on WhatsApp and things like that. It exists to make organising as easy as humanly possible, creating a better experience for volunteers, coaches, parents, administrators and players so they can spend more time on what they love. But I did say at the beginning that Spond is magical, and that's because they're going to make two tickets to any football game appear in the hands of a lucky United Stand viewer today. So we're giving away 2 tickets to a game of your choice. today. All you have to do is hit the link in the description and tell us about a coach or trainer you currently have or have had in the past in sports or any activity that has had an important influence on your life. And it doesn't have to be sport. It can be somebody who's had an influence on your life. Links in the chat for that. This can be someone who inspired and motivated you, or even just someone who helped shape with what you into who you are today. The story inspires us the most will win the tickets to a football game of their choice for you and your amazing coach. Personally, I can't recommend Spond enough. I use it for my kids' activities because they play football. I also use it for myself. I know several people using it. I've got some friends who use it as well. And unlike WhatsApp, when you send it back and you're trying to find out whether people are going to reply, it organizes all that for you. They're a 5-star, totally free organizational app that is growing massively in the UK and all over the world with well over 1 million monthly active users. There's no ads in the app. They're just a bunch of dedicated people working hard every day to make the best experience for coaches, players, and volunteers in sports as stress-free and as fun as possible when it comes to managing teams. So thanks again to Spond for sponsoring the show and for doing their awesome giveaways. I love when our brands are integrating with us and doing things with our audience to make it more interesting. And as I said, you can win 2 tickets to a match of your choice by entering this competition through the link in the chat. Top line, inspire us, enter it. Links in the top. You can win 2 tickets. You know what? 100 people might enter, but 5 people might enter, and you might be, your chances are in there to win then, aren't they? Tell us about somebody who's inspired you, a coach, etc. Links in the chat to do that. And as I say, big shout out to Spond. So yes, great, fantastic. Get involved in that, and we'll let you know about that as the show goes on. So let's have a look what people are saying in the chat. We've had a super chat from Zayn Miasi, who's laughing already. I don't know why. Who's going to win between Ronaldo and Salah? It's funny, if Ronaldo was in a Liverpool shirt, which would make my eyes cry, I think I would expect Ronaldo to win. But so Ronaldo in a Manchester United shirt, you just don't know. I hope Ronaldo is going to beat Salah, but I don't think we're underdogs. I don't like what McTominay said about underdogs. I think he meant siege mentality. You've got to have a siege mentality when everyone's against you. That's what United do. But how many chances are we going to create today? If you play with Sancho and Pogba and Cavani instead of playing with Greenwood, McTominay, Fred, Rashford, I think you create more chances because Rashford's explosive, Greenwood's explosive, and McTominay and Fred are just runners. You play Pogba, who is creative, you play Sancho, who's creative, and you play Cavani, who's a high presser, then you're going to create more chances for Ronaldo. So I don't know whether Ronaldo will win this battle today. I hope he can do. There's the league table on the screen there as well. You can see how perilous this situation is for United. This is our predicted 11. Come on, lads. Let's get a few dirty tackles in early. 2-0 United to Sam Ameson. Thanks, everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get a couple of thousand likes before the kickoff. And also make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I've got West Ham Spurs on. It's 0-0 in that one, and it's 1-1 Brentford Leicester. Hi, Mark. It annoys me some United fans cheering Liverpool players over us. That's unexpectedly. We're United. We will win, says EJ. I don't know who's doing that. I've not really heard anything about that, to be honest with you. For me, it's about Manchester United. It's about Manchester United. It's about winning this game today. And we've got to be up for it. We've got to be up for it. I think if you're a Manchester United fan, you've got to want to beat Liverpool. I think it's a very dangerous mentality for a Manchester United fan, for whatever reason, to start thinking, well, if we lose this game, we might get rid of Ollie. Because next time we play Liverpool, it becomes less of an important game in your mind. If you want to keep the glamour and importance of this rivalry, you have to want to win it every time you play it. If you let it go into your head, well, if we lose to Liverpool at Old Trafford, Ollie might get the sack, you're demeaning the rivalry. That's what you're doing. I'm not saying you can't do that. I can't tell you what to think. West Ham have just scored, and I think it's Antonio. FPL points in the bag. They look like they were going to score, and they have scored from a corner. He's doing the backstroke, but 1-0 to West Ham. So I think that, yeah, I do think that at the end of the day, don't demean the rivalry, because I think it's really important. And in that sense, we've got the United 11 that's just come out. It is the team that we've got on the screen. It is the same team that he picked. Same team as Atalanta. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest with you. I don't agree with the team. I'll hit it head on and say I do not agree with that team. The team did start badly against Atalanta, but he's convinced it started well. Mark, did you hear Moyes saying that 100 million for Rice was a bargain and that the price has gone up? Ollie might regret that at some point, says Nate H. I think he's got bigger problems to solve. And Mark, did you hear? I've done that one from Nate. And it's India versus Pakistan World Cup match and United versus Liverpool overlapping. Can't handle so much tension and pressure. So, well, if you're watching the cricket, enjoy it, Anarud. Mark, will the Dublin meetup be back on soon? Come on, United. I don't know how that can be back on, Dar, because you can't even stand up in a bar at the moment in Ireland. It's table service. So how would we get around doing that? You know, I take it you're actually from Ireland, and you should know that. And I don't even live in Ireland anymore, so we can't do a meetup until all the restrictions are knocked down in Ireland. Can you wish my friend Dylan a happy birthday? Says Gio. Yes, I can. Happy birthday, Dylan. And Zamias is celebrating a goal because it's against Spurs. It's 1-0 to West Ham with 15 minutes to go in that game, and it's Antonio. And I think that puts West Ham level with us as well. Doesn't put them ahead of us because their goal difference isn't good enough. But actually, I don't know whether it puts them above us, actually. No, it puts them above us. It puts us down to 7th. So West Ham go up to 5th with the win, and Spurs are in 4th. No, they've got that wrong. I don't think they've updated the score on the BBC website, but I think it puts us down to 7th. Someone in the chat will let us know. But there's no Mane for Liverpool, which is a bonus. Let me just read you the Liverpool team out here. We'll talk about the Manchester United side, but the Liverpool side is interesting because Mane's on the bench and they've got no Fabinho at all, which I think this is a really big boost for Manchester United. And he's starting Konate and benched Matip. So I see a bit of positivity here, people. Alisson in goal, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson. Considering Konate's not played many games, he's playing at Old Trafford in front of a very, very, and you can't knock this, raucous crowd, which is going to be very, very, very behind the team. He could sink in that environment. So I'm encouraged by Konate starting over Matip because I rate Matip. Midfield of Henderson, Milner, and Keita. Again, I think without Fabinho, that I actually think what the hell is that Liverpool team? I don't get what he's done. Fabinho must be injured. Mane might be carrying something, but that Liverpool side looks well and truly beatable to me. What a chance to win. Well, no, it's his famous last words, yes, but yeah. It looks very beatable to me. But no Matip and Fabinho, and that is a bit of a blow. We'll see. We'll see. But there's no Mane, he's on the bench. There's no Matip, he's on the bench. And there's no Fabinho, he's not starting. So I think that could be a really interesting leveler. And as I said, with Konate starting at the back, I think this is a huge game for him. I mean, it could be one of those games where he swallows it up and just does really well. I've drove 4 hours for Ollie to start McFred in our biggest game of the season. I'm actually thinking about just going home, says Sean. 90 minutes is when you judge the team he picks. No Pogba, it's the same lineup that was shite against Atalanta. Why do you have any ideas, says Karen? Because that's Ollie's best team. You know, absolutely, that is Ollie's best team. McTominay and Fred is Ollie's best team. How many times has he started McTominay and Fred this season as his midfield too when they've been fit? I don't think there's a game he hasn't. So whether you like it or not, and I don't like it, I do not like it, but the fact we're playing Liverpool is too. I don't think we're going to lose this game. I would have predicted this would have been a draw at the start of the season, let alone after the start of the season we've had. I think it's got a draw written all over it. And I think the changes to Liverpool make it look like it could be a draw. How lucky is Ollie? Every time he plays, our missing team players. I mean, I think that is a great point, threefold path. We never face a team full strength. And I'm going to put that down for the end of the game. No Fabinho, no Ndidi, no... who else have we played? No Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin. No Antonio when we played West Ham. It just seems like every time we play somebody, they are missing a massive player. Klopp trying to save Ollie's job. Small loss, big game for the rest of the league, says Reeves. I think if you gave Klopp a point now, he'd be very happy with it. I do. I really do. But we'll see. Keita, I don't rate Keita. So C says Keita's scoring goals lately. I think he's crap defensively, though. I watched the Atletico Madrid game. There's the league table. That's not as it stands now, because with West Ham winning, they would go above. But we don't do as it stands. We do the league table official. That's the official league table at the moment. West Ham are currently winning, so they would go above us into well, they'd actually go into 4th place if they win. But even if they draw, looking like starting the table in 7th place. But look, we would also be joint 9th with Arsenal on 14. It's only goal difference that's putting us into a stronger position. So we've got to win today. I'm worried about our next 3 league games are Liverpool, Spurs, who I think we can beat, and then Man City. If we only take 3 points from the next 9, we'll be in a really, we might not even be on that page. We might be in below 10th. So we've got to win today. If you were Sancho, you'd now be starting to think, am I the next Donny van der Beek? Because I don't think Ollie fancies him. What a waste of 75 million to Sean Turner. I mean, look, I'm more than happy. I'm glad that we've moved past Donny van der Beek, because I did say at the start of the season I don't think he will use him. But I'm glad that people are talking about Jadon Sancho, because he is a £74 million player that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't start. And we are on game 9. Game 9 now. Jim says, Mark, no matter what players Liverpool plays, if Ollie doesn't have any decent tactics, United will lose, says Jim. I expect Manchester United to be up for it today. I actually expect Fred and McTominay to have a good game. At some point, they've got to have a good game. Don't rate them as a pair. They'll never, ever, ever, ever win the Premier League with Fred and McTominay, but I think they can beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. They're not totally useless. They can put in a performance, and I expect one today from the whole team. That Liverpool midfield, and he didn't play Pogba, says Marky, and this is one of the only games of the season where I don't care how we play. I'd take a crap game as long as we win. Hypocritical of me, I know, says Joshua Bowwater. Exactly, well, but I do agree with you. I'm so gassed about today's game. 6 million reasons why United won't win, but it's a derby. Anything can happen, says Gaz, all the juice. I think, Gaz, when you look at that Liverpool side, you might change your mind, because the Liverpool side is not that great as it could be. Their midfield is Henderson, Keita and Milner. Fabinho isn't even fit enough for the bench, which is interesting because he didn't even start against Atletico Madrid. He came on at half-time, so he's obviously picked up an injury. He's gone with Jota, Firmino and Salah, which I don't think matters massively. I mean, I agree. Jota's a good player. Firmino's been in good form. Mane can always come off the bench. So Mane's on the bench. But interestingly, he hasn't started Matip, and he's started Konate. Now, I'm wondering, is Konate quicker than Matip? That's the only thing I'm thinking. Or is Matip carrying an injury? Because I believe Konate is quicker. And I think this might be about pace. I think he's picked Konate for his pace. And that's what Reese is saying. It looks like it's about pace, because that ball over the top is probably why he's done it. And a lot of people are saying, yes, he's way quicker. So there you go. That's probably what Klopp's done there. That ball over the top. Van Dijk's quick. Trent's quick. Matip is quick. But I remember when we were looking at Konate, and I believe he's super quick. So that's probably why they've done that. So that's probably a tactical thing. And also, Klopp's very good at making 2 or 3 changes to his team. He regularly does it. Sancho's creativity would massively help us today, says Chris. And I agree with Sancho, but how do you work him into this team when we're always going to play a pivot? Who do you replace, Rashford or Mason? Both on form, says DM. I mean, can I just say this, right? I will be honest. I don't like that team. I think it can win, but I can't be a hypocrite. I don't like McTominay and Fred. And I said at the end of last season, this will be a reason that I go Ollie out. Considering we've taken 1 point from 9, if we were to lose this game, then, and he started McTominay and Fred again, then, you know, that could be really perilous for him. But there's another thing I would say as well. And I said this at the start of the season. You can't play Greenwood and Rashford in your front 3. They're not creative. They're wide forwards. You can't have 2 wide forwards who just want to cut in and shoot all the time if you're trying to build a team that plays football and creates chances. But we're not trying to build a team to create chances. We're Moments FC. So the reason he picks Greenwood and the reason he picks Rashford is on the break, he wants them to cut in and shoot and score a worldie. And that's why he does it. He's not looking to play high up the pitch with possession. He's looking to break. And that's what it's all about. Because if he wanted to keep the ball and play creative football, he would pick Sancho. He would pick Pogba, but he's not. He's got 2 runners in the midfield who couldn't pass a parcel, and he's got 2 wide forwards who've got no interest in putting a cross into the box, really. They just want to shoot. So you can see how we're set up. Work hard, FC, moments, FC. We might get shocked. I hope we do, but that's basically what we're doing. Hopefully United cheer me up. I'm feeling ill all day after seeing that Paul Scholes video, Daniel Kirk. I've always said Paul Scholes is brilliant with feet. All I'm going to say is, it's a bit like never meet your heroes, isn't it? You just don't know what somebody's like in real life. And I don't know what that's all about. I haven't even watched it. I've refused to watch it. Paul Scholes is one of my favorite players of all time. I ain't watching it, but I've seen a picture. And I'm just no comments. No comments from me. Looking forward to Zidane's lineup with Sancho and Donny, says Gerchen. And you could argue that the bench is better than our starting 11, says Nathan Brown. Tell you what, I haven't even looked at United's bench. Let's have a look at United's bench. I mean, you can imagine what's you can imagine what's on the bench. Let's have a quick look. Manchester United. I'm not going to change my score prediction. No, if anybody else wants to, they can do. So we've got Henderson, Bailly, Dalot, Lingard, Matic, Pogba, Van der Beek, Cavani, and Jadon Sancho. But a lot of Liverpool fans are worried that they haven't got Fabinho, and I think that is a big opportunity for Manchester United. I do rate Jordan Henderson, but I don't massively think that I don't really think Milner is a player to worry about, and I'm not massively convinced by Naby Keita either. So, I don't know what Liverpool have got on the bench if they need to change their midfield. I presume they've got that lad Jones. Jones, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Minamino, so Origi, Joe Gomez, Marnie. I mean, our bench is way better than their bench. I agree with what Jamie Carragher said, actually, that Manchester United's squad is better than Liverpool's squad, and it is. I'm always excited for games, Mark, and then see the lineup, and it puts a huge damper in my mood. Usually it's the McFred pivot, says Kevin. Really excited, but worried with the same team, says Matthew Robinu. We will play same as first half versus Atalanta and get destroyed. Moments FC has no chance, says Matthew. We need to start fast. We need to start like we started the second half against Atalanta. And I keep hoping against hope that will happen at some point. Ollie mixes up having strong principles and faith in his players with pig-headedness. It's been proven time again that McFred doesn't work, and having wingers who cut in makes Ronaldo less effective, says Resco. And the way this team is built, they should be running 4-4-2, says America. What would you do if Sancho asked you if he could nibble on your toes, says Dylan? Oof. I don't want anybody to nibble on my toes. Wife or friend, I don't want it. No Fabinho and Matip equals best chance Rashford versus Trent, says Duncan. I think that's why Konate is playing, because if Rashford runs in behind, Konate is quick enough to go with the run. I don't think he's concerned. But talking about Sancho and Pogba, I mean, look, it seems to me we've spent forever talking about Donny van der Beek at this time during a game where we're talking about the starting lineup and why Van der Beek's not starting. It's now progressed to why is Pogba and Sancho not starting. And look, in an individualistic game like this, I think we can sit back and just go, look, it's a one-off game. We've got to win. I think we can win, but we're not going to learn anything from this game, really. If this is the future of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, this team, then I don't want to see it. But it is the future, because I don't want to see it, because I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like what it represents. It's never going to be a good footballing side. We've not even developed Mason Greenwood as a footballer. He's still this 17-year-old who can score world-class goals individually. Marcus Rashford really still isn't great at creativity. He's another player who's just an individualistic flair player. McFred and McTominay and Fred, they just run around. There's only one player who can get his foot on the ball and create, and that's Bruno Fernandes out of our front six. So it's about hard work and moments, and that's not Manchester United for me. So I think we can win today, and I think that's above anything. All I want to do is win. But long term, I think even if we do win, if we keep picking this team, it will still have more days like Leicester. And in fact, I think this team is equipped well to do what I think this is the sort of team. I think Ollie does well against these sort of teams, because the team is set up to be a bit of a counter attack. I think this sort of team struggles against Leicester because we're meant to be the favourites, or Villa or Everton. We're meant to be the favourites. When we're meant to be the favourites, I think we struggle, which is what we've seen against Villarreal and Atalanta, but we've been able to go for it so much that we've won it late on. Greenwood starting over Sancho, especially in a game like this, is ridiculous to me. Ronaldo will starve. Should have been Rashi, Ronaldo and Sancho, says Sebastian. Look, I love Mason Greenwood, and he'll probably score a couple of great goals today, but I don't really think he's been good enough to warrant creativity. I don't think his creativity is there where it needs to be. Ollie's lineup shows he wants to play defensive and counter. We're playing at home, says Chiri. Really shows a lack of ambition and self-confidence. If we win, forget another midfield joke. We'll be McFred from now on, says Manchester G. And also, Greenwood is as selfish as young Ronaldo was, but Ronaldo had gigs on the other wing as creator. And I think that's a great point by Karamu. It doesn't matter if Rashford or Greenwood starts if you complement them. Like, if Pogba was on the left, he's creative. If Sancho was on the right, he's creative. You could play Rashford on the left, Sancho on the right. You could play Pogba on the left, Greenwood on the right. We saw it last season. What irritates me is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager of the team that we see things, and then he doesn't seem to notice it himself. The reason Paul Pogba works so well on the wing is because it gave Bruno a creative player to play with him. And when we did it at the end of last season, at the start of this season, we created and scored more goals. It's not rocket science that in your front four, you've got Bruno the 10, you've got your number 9 Ronaldo, you have one wide forward, whether it's Rashford or Greenwood, and your other wide forward is a creator, whether it's Pogba or Sancho. But Ollie's gone for 2 wide forwards and no creator. I know it's irrelevant, but if Ollie goes sometime in the future, who would you take as manager out of who's available? Nathan, for me, it would be Zidane. There's no longevity in this team without destroying team morale. Come on, United, says Deji. Fred was so good on Wednesday because he thrives at chasing and winning the ball high up the pitch, then giving it to Pogba, not a CDM, says Daniel Kirk. Yes. Well, look, I hope Fred can build on that performance because I thought he played well. But it looks like West Ham are going to win, by the way. They're 1-0 up and there's only a couple of minutes left to go. Looks like Leicester are going to... Look, what? Looks like Leicester are going to win. They're 2-1 up. Maddison scored quite a while ago, 2-1 to Leicester at Brentford. That would be a massive result for Leicester that would put them level with Manchester United on 14 points. Manchester United are currently 7th on 14 points. If the results stay the same, we'll be joint 7th with Everton, Leicester and Arsenal all on 14 points. And Arsenal are 10th at the moment. So joint 7th, joint 10th, whatever you want to call it. The importance of winning today is massive. If we lose today, we stay in 7th place and we would be 7 points off Liverpool, 8 points off Chelsea. It would be a disaster. It would be 1 point from 12. We have to win this game today. If you're a Manchester United fan, we have to win this game today. You know he's done when our rivals want us desperately to keep Ollie, says Connor T. Why does Ollie go out and buy players when he just fields the same team he had last year? It makes no sense, says Jim. We are not going to see the ball today. No creative player on the pitch apart from Bruno. It's going to be a long first half, says Chiri. And you know he's done when we've done that one as well. Ollie, as counter-attacking manager, is trying to play a more expansive game and has no idea how to. Hence why there's so many gaps through the team, says Ish. I just think it's... I mean, I hope we can win, but I just find it doesn't have any... I just don't think it's got any longevity in it. It's a plaster. It's a plaster team. It's a plaster on a wound. And how you can spend 74 million on a creative winger and not use him, and then bench Pogba. I just find it amazing. But look, hopefully it'll win. Hopefully it will win. But as I said, I don't think there's any longevity in it. Anyway, thanks for all the super chats that are coming in. I really, really appreciate that. Just a reminder, we are sponsored by Spond on the show today. The reason that's important for you is there's a link in the video description, the first link in the video description, enter the Spond competition. 2 tickets of your choice to a match of your choice. So 2 tickets to a match of your choice is up for grabs today. All you've got to do is click the link in the video description to enter. And what we're looking for is for you to just give us a few lines about a coach that has inspired you in your life. And hypothetically, you win the ticket for you and your coach. realistically, you could take whoever you bloody want. But the story is that you win two. Don't let them know I've said that. But the point is, you win 2 tickets to a match of your choice. But to win it, you've got to give us a bit of a story about a coach that's inspired you. Because what Spond is, it's a free app, it's an organising app, and it's fantastic if you've got a football team, a five-a-side team. You can also use it for other events, but that's basically why they're sponsoring us, because it's for football. 2 tickets to a match of your choice. Click the link in the chat to enter. We might get 10 entries, in which case you've got a very good chance of winning. We might get 50, but the reality is it takes a few seconds to enter, and you could win 2 tickets to a match of your choice, which, could be a very good match of your choice. And the great thing about that is it's not just, it doesn't have to be any game, and it could be any game. You might want to go and watch Swindon, but I would hope some of you want to go and watch Manchester United or something good. West Ham have won. Big win for West Ham. They have won. The Leicester game's not over yet, but they're not 2 good results that help Manchester United. We got away with it yesterday. If Everton had won, they would have gone ahead of us. But obviously that Watford turnaround was absolutely massive. But that's a fantastic win for West Ham. That puts them up to 4th place. They're having a very good season. Clean sheet as well, and a win for West Ham. Leicester are winning 2-1 against Brentford. And I tell you what, I looked at Leicester's fixtures after the international break, and I thought United and then away to Brentford, they'll do well to get a couple of points. They've taken 6 by the look of it. They're up to 9th with 14 points if that stays the same, which is exactly the same points of what we've got. We've just got a better goal difference with +6 at the moment. So there you go. We'll stand by David Moyes. We'll stand by David Moyes. We'll stand by David Moyes. Remember everyone singing that back when David Moyes was the manager? There's some clips of fans singing, we'll stand by David Moyes. We'll stand by David Moyes. It just shows you, though, doesn't it? You can sing for any manager. It doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing. It's the right thing for those people to do. I'm not taking the piss out of them. I'm just saying the long game, it wasn't the right song to sing, was it? But this is why I think it's always about opinion, individualistic opinion. You can make your mind up. And God, there's an opinion to be made about United at the moment. And I don't think, not Hassan says, Mark, you look quite relaxed. But why would you be surprised about me being relaxed? I embrace these sort of games. I don't really get nervous about these sort of games. I'd rather be playing. Sounds like I want a Super League, which I don't. But I don't get nervous about playing Real Madrid or Liverpool or Manchester City, because we're Manchester United, and I know I'm confident in what Manchester United is. Manchester United should be beating Liverpool and Real Madrid. I can't be arrogant and say that we will, but this is my expectation, and this is when I talk about standards. People are nervous because they're like, "Oh God, it's Liverpool! Oh my God, they got Salah! Oh my God, it's so scary!" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I refuse to let my standards drop to the floor. We're Manchester United. I'm not scared of Liverpool. I'm not scared of Manchester City. I'm a realist. I know we could get beat today, but if we do get beat, I'll be straight out on my match reaction saying it's not acceptable. We're Manchester United, and our expectations should be to win. So I'm not relaxed, but I'm not nervous, and I'm certainly not scared. I'm excited, but you know what? I'm not out of control excited, because I'm actually looking at the team we've picked, and I'm not expecting it to be a very good performance from us. I still think we can win, but and that would be massively exciting if we win the game, because I'll take any win. I'll take a win off the ref's arse. I'm not bothered. But what I really want to do is win and play well. I'm not expecting us to play well because I've seen the team he's picked. That has got no longevity in it at all. If that's the future of Manchester United, that starting lineup today, I think we're in for a very, very frustrating future, because it's just a crap midfield. But they might put in a performance today. And also the front three is very selfish. There's no creative player in that front three. It's Rashford head down and get a shot. It's Mason Greenwood get head down and get a shot. I mean, Ronaldo's more creative than Rashford and Greenwood, and he's our number 9 who we're meant to be creating for. So watch out for Ronaldo today, because I thought, fantastic goal from Ronaldo on Wednesday night. But I actually thought he'd had a good performance without the goal. Now, a lot of people don't think it. A lot of people, I loved what Benzema said in the week. It's like, you can have a bad game, score in the 80th minute, and you'll get man of the match. I don't want to be that sort of striker. And I think what he means by that is that, if Ronaldo didn't score on Wednesday, people probably would have given him a 4 or 5 out of 10. I'd have given him a 7, Without the goal, I'd have given him a 7 because I thought his overall contribution, work rate, passing, movement was very, very good. But it's true. If you don't score as a striker, you've had a bad game. But if you do score, you've had a good game. And that, that's not necessarily the case. A striker could have a terrible game, score a goal, and everyone will give him man of the match. We've not kept a clean sheet in our last 20 games or so. Do you think we can keep Liverpool from scoring, says Chiri? I wouldn't be surprised if it was 0-0 or 1-0 to us. Ollie only trusts McFred when Greenwood and Rashi on the wings. He can never build a team with consistent dominance. Love the player, Ollie, but managers got to go, says Noah. Hi, Mark. Love what you're doing. How do you feel about Rashford and Greenwood's development? I generally feel with the correct guidance, these two can mature into top 10 in the world, says Kurt. I think you're right. I think you're right about Rashford. I think he has got the potential to be a top 10 player in the world. And I think Mason Greenwood definitely does, because I think Mason Greenwood's better as a talent than Marcus Rashford. I think Mason Greenwood is a generational talent, which means he's got the potential to be a top 5 in the world player. So, but what I will stand by on, and you can name other players if you want me to, but what I stand by on is that I don't think we've seen any significant development tactically of Mason Greenwood or Marcus Rashford's game in the last 3 years. I don't think they're doing anything different to what they did 3 years ago. Now, Rashford was already a first teamer 3 years ago. Mason Greenwood wasn't. He was a youngster. But I don't see Mason Greenwood mixing it up. I don't see him sometimes thinking, I'm going to beat my man and whip across. I don't see Marcus Rashford doing that either. It's always try and get past my man and try and get a shot off, which is what they were doing 3 years ago. So I don't think we're developing our players to pass and move or try and be creative. I think they're fantastic players, and I think they could be better with better coaching, is what I'm trying to say. Did you see the quote from Ollie that he expects to improve in the next few months? Foolishly, the board will believe this and not take too much notice of the bad results, as Gnomes. If we lose 3-0 today, he won't be sacked tomorrow. If we lose 3-0 today, I probably would. Well, I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to tempt fate. I just want to win today. I can see this game going the same way as Atalanta. Match will be poor until Ollie brings on the subs who should have been starting in the first place, says Joel. Well, I said it on Wednesday night and I'd say it now. The team that ended the game, I would have started the game. I would have started with Sancho on the right, Cavani and Ronaldo swapping off the left and right, and I would have put Pogba in the midfield next to Fred. Maybe the Cavani one was unlikely because he can't really play 2 games in three or 4 days. But certainly Pogba should be playing where McTominay is, and I think Sancho and Greenwood Sancho should have started. My team would have been Pogba and Fred, Bruno, Sancho, Rashford, Ronaldo. I'm not surprised he hasn't done that, but that's what I would have done because I actually liked the way we played in that last half an hour. Hi, Mark. Love what you do. I've done that one. Thank you very much for the super chats. If you want to do a super chat, you can do that through the $sign. Thank you, everyone who's doing it. Thanks for everyone who's watching. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner as well. Did you see I've done that one from Gnomes as well? Let's have a look what other people are saying in the chat. If we lose 8, he will still be there, says Udell. And why is Sancho not playing, says Paul Pace. Ollie is the real-life Homer Simpson, says first name, last name. Can I just say, though, I've done so many of these watch-alongs, and I know people get frustrated and excited and nervous and scared, and and I think people start writing the result before it's happened. I remember at half-time on Wednesday, and people were shouting, Ollie out, Ollie out, Ollie out. And, I have to because we're presenting a show. I can't be here saying that team's going to lose because we haven't even kicked a ball yet and we might win. And at halftime on Wednesday, I can't be there saying it's 2-0. We're 2-0 down. He's got to go. We've lost this game. And then you win 3-2. Of course, as presenter of the show, I've got to say it's a 90-minute game. But also personally, I feel that. It's like I've seen Mourinho and Van Gaal pick horrific teams and win. So, of course, Ollie can pick a team I don't like and win. I think we can win with that team. It's not the team I'd pick. I don't like it, but I want it to win. Even though I know if he picks that team, he'll pick it again and again. I still want it to win because it's Liverpool and it's Manchester United. And I want that feeling tonight. I want to know that I can message Craig from Anfield Agenda and tell him to swivel on it and just send a clip of me laughing for 120 seconds, like constantly. I'll just be going, ha, 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 but really laughing. I want to do that because that's rivalry. So I want us to win. And I don't like that team. But it doesn't mean that we can't win. And we've been down that road many times before. Greenwood is only creative when Cavani is in the team for some reason. I don't know why he isn't creative with anyone else, but I agree he needs to grow, says Jordan Ray. But maybe they're not. Maybe they're being told not to be creative. Maybe they're being told to play on the front foot. Anyway, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're going for 167,000 subscribers today. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. Interviews, should have Paul Ince on in the morning as well, talking about the game. Lots of things to get involved with, and you're all very welcome. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. It's a half, that's flown by, half an hour to kick off. The crowd's starting to fill up here, and just having a look around at what people are saying. And let's have a look. We've got score predictions, says halftime soccer. Well, you can put your score predictions in the chat if you want to. I'm going to go 1-1. Hi, Mark. Whatever happens, I want United to try and compete. Pogba and Sancho should be playing, going for a draw, says Mohammed Idris. I ain't got to go for a win, mate. Look, I was talking to Drawty about this morning. A draw is a bad draw, Drawty. There's no coincidence there. A draw's not what we want today. It's better than a loss, but a draw is not what we want. We want to win. Of course, you want to draw over a loss, but we want to win, because a draw is 2 points from 12. 1 point from 12, 2 points in 12. It's not great, but I think it will be a draw. But we need to win. That's going to put the smile on the face. That's going to give us a bit of hope. And all it will be is hope. I think even if we won 4-0, it would still only be hope. People would start talking about titles again. It's only hope, but we've got to get some hope today. Hi, Mark. Whatever happens, I just want you to know I've done that one. Nico says, Mark, I hope you discuss this. Can you discuss what the team needs to do today to win? Positivity without undermining Ollie or a team or individuals, says Pical. I will talk about that one. What is wrong with Ollie picking McFred and leaving Pogba on the bench? I don't like it, Paul. You like it. Well done. Welcome to World of Opinion. When I saw the lineup, I got so upset. Ollie's playing not to lose rather than playing to win. No, Pogba has to play. That sort of goes back with the comment I'm going to come back to. Thanks for the content. Much love from Journey, says Linus. Right, how do Manchester United win this game? Can I just be honest? We don't win this game by going toe-to-toe with Liverpool. Because if we go toe-to-toe with Liverpool, we'll lose the game. We win this game by doing what Liverpool do, actually. Making sure we're compact. And compact does not mean park the bus. If you watch Liverpool, they move around as a unit. And they're organised 4-3-3, and they move as a unit around the pitch. The gaps don't open up because they're moving around as a 10 outfield players together all the time. They're hard to play through. We need to be compact like that. Doesn't mean we need to park the bus, but to beat Liverpool, you've got to be competitive. You've got to be compact. You can't allow them to get to the edge of your box easily. And that is what Manchester United need to do. What we don't need to do is play a high line and try and pen them in their half. Because if we do that, we're not actually good at being compact and they'll play through us. What I would like to see is us pressing as a team. And you can press from the front. But what we must do is if we decide to do that, we must be compact. And I think that's a risk. So I think what we will see is is probably how he's lined up. We won't see a high line because we've got Magaluf playing, so they will play deeper with McFred in front of them, and then a gap. We'll have a 6, and then there'll be a gap to the front 4. And what we'll try and do is, and I think Bruno will drop into that back 6 at times, but we will try and hit diagonals to Rashford and Greenwood. I think that's what we will do. We'll try and get up the pitch and win set pieces. I don't see Manchester United with that team parking themselves on the edge of the Liverpool box, having waves of possession where they're trying to work a chance. It's just not that sort of a team. And I don't think Rashford's very good against the back 8 on the edge of the box. He's got a skill move, but I don't think he's going to go past 3 players. We're set up to catch them on the break. Ronaldo is a waste in this lineup, says Anders. Well, he's not a waste if he can get crosses into the box. Do you think Ollie is actually hurting the long-term project? How many of these... Get out. What's that? Get off. Oh, bloody Microsoft start. Get in the bin. Mark, do you think Ollie is actually hurting the long-term project? How many of these players that he would play regularly would a new manager fancy, says Nate H. You know what? I saw a very, very good article from Jamie Carragher. I think it was in the Telegraph or the Times. And he was absolutely spot on. And I'm fed up with Jamie Carragher getting it right because he's a scouter and he'll be wanting us to lose. But I think one of the great things about life is you shouldn't close your mind to something because you don't like it, because you might learn something. And what he said is, and how he evident, it's always great when somebody says something but then evidenced it. What he said was, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will never be able to compete with Klopp and Tuchel and Pep because they're so much better than him. There is nothing he can do to make himself that good. Well, I don't know whether he's right, but that's his opinion. And he evidenced it on a very good point on his own career. And he said, look, I had a good career. Liverpool fans think kindly of me and they think I was a good player for them. But I couldn't play for England because John Terry was better than me, and he was better in the air than me, and he read the game better than me. And Rio Ferdinand was quicker than me and stronger than me. And it didn't matter how well I played. I could never be better than them because they were better than me. And I tried everything, but I couldn't. And he said, and that's the problem Ollie's got. He can try whatever he likes. He will never be as good as the three managers that are above him. So, and I think what the message there is that United have got a coach, in his opinion, that will never be good enough. He might beat them in a home game with the players that he's got. But I've been in this position before where we used to win titles, but Liverpool would beat us at Anfield, and they'd love it. They'd love it, but we'd win the league. There was a season, I think it was 2009 or 10 or something like that. They beat us twice. They beat us at Anfield and at Old Trafford, but we won the league. I'll take that. Klopp will take losing this if he wins the league, but our big victory could be, wow, we beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. Yeah, and we finished fourth. So today is about Liverpool. It's about beating Liverpool. And I'm not going to lie and say I'm not lost in the emotion of just wanting to beat our biggest rival. But as I said, I look at that team, I look at what's happened this season, I look at who he's left on the bench, and I think we might beat Liverpool, we might beat City, but we'll probably lose to Chelsea or Arsenal or something like that. And we can't afford to lose any more games between now and Christmas if we've got any hope of being in a title race. What's Ollie on? This team played well Wednesday, said Tony Cox. But the team that Ollie's picked is not a surprise to me because he kept saying that we played well in the first half. So as much as you think we played bad in the first half, and I think we played bad in the first half, he thinks we played well in the first half. Sir Alex Ferguson was the best manager and he finished third some years. Ollie isn't as good, but should still win the league, says Nick Warren. I don't know what to say, Nick. So you're comparing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean, I just don't think the evidence there. Why? If football's about coaching, and I think it is, why should Ole Gunnar Solskjaer win the league? Mark, imagine Ronaldo as coach on sideline coaching for 90 minutes. Ollie sits and smiles with his mates when we're losing. He has a substitutes mentality, says Michael. And also, thank you very much for those super chats. Let's have a look what other people are saying. Mark, we're like Burnley, says Fajad. And I actually predicted the same lineup. Ollie can't change, says K-Flow. I think I predicted the same lineup as well. What first half was he watching? Statements like that make it hard to like Ollie, says DK. Will you be Ollie out if we lose, says Quick Clips? Well, look, I can't move away from the fact that I said if we lose this game today, I'd probably be saying it's time for a change. I don't own Manchester United. I can't make that decision. What I would say to you here is two things. If we lose this game and we don't play well, I will be saying it's time for a change because that's pretty much how I know I will feel. I'm not really thinking about it because I don't think we'll be in that situation. I don't see us losing that game. As I said on Friday night, and I even feel it more today at 4:10, 20 minutes before kickoff, I don't think at 6:30 tonight when I'm doing the match reaction, I'm reacting to a United loss. I don't. Just maybe that's naive, maybe that's stupid, I don't know. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. But what I would say is the second point is, even if we do lose, they won't sack him. And I'm just going to say that because I don't want to talk about a manager being sacked when we could go and win this game. But they won't sack him even if he loses because our owners are crap. It's really sad to be playing this game with Pogba, Donny and Sancho on the bench as Gerchen. And what I would say is somebody asked me this a few minutes ago about a different coach. Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Thomas Tuchel would not pick the team Ollie's picked here. I'm not going to say who he would and wouldn't pick, but there's no way they would have Donny van der Beek, Sancho and Pogba all on the bench to pick McTominay and Fred. They wouldn't do that. I don't think there's many managers in world football that would. There isn't many that would. Delusional Ollie, we need a real manager and coaches. Get Conte, says Varun. I'm saying other managers win the league over Sir Alex Ferguson, says Nick Warren. Just because Ollie is too good, we shouldn't let it be an excuse. Our squad should be challenging. No, you're right, Nick. Of course, you're spot on there. Mark, even if United winning keeps Ollie in the job, surely we all want to beat the Scousers, says Andy and Bruno. Well, does anybody not want to? That's a stupid question to ask, actually, because we won't have exclusively Manchester United fans in the chat. Although they would want Ollie to win. So actually, it might work. But does anybody actually want United to lose today so that Ollie might lose his job? Because there's plenty of time for that to happen. If he's not good enough, he will get the sack one day anyway. But I wouldn't start talking about Ollie getting sacked. I would never, as I said before, want to see Manchester United lose the game to Liverpool. And as I said, you might think it's a short-term pain for long-term gain. If we're playing Norwich, maybe. But the season's still alive. It's not dead yet. And, also, I was thinking about this when I was driving home this morning. What if the world was to end in February and this was sort of last chance of a title race? Obviously, we won't win the title anyway because it's in May. But I do. The time is now. I want us to be winning now. And if this team could go and win the next 10, I want it to happen. I know there's a very slim chance of it happening, but I want it to happen. And I don't wish we lose. I think we could lose. I think we could be saying get rid of Ollie at the end of the match, but I don't want it to happen. And also, I think it demeans what Liverpool Manchester United is if you ever want to lose against Liverpool to get rid of a manager, because you've demeaned. It's like the FA Cup, really. It's like what happened in the FA Cup. The FA Cup was a fantastic tournament, and then the FA said to Man United, "We know you're the holders, but there's this really important tournament in Brazil that might help us get the World Cup. So we want you to go and play in that, and you don't have to play in the FA Cup for a year." So United go and play in it, and it ruins the FA Cup because people are like, "Well, if Man United don't need to play in it 1 year, we don't need to put our first team out in the first few rounds." And the FA Cup was ruined. If you're there going, "Well, I want United to lose to Liverpool so that Ollie loses the job," you've crossed the line. You've wanted us to lose to our biggest rival for what? Whether it's for a good reason or a bad reason, you have demeaned that rivalry. It's like your worst enemy. It's your worst enemy. You're going to let your worst enemy come in your house and have it off with your partner because you'll win £1 million. It's Robert Redford time. It's not indecent proposal. It's not happening. Some things are more important than money, and some things are more important than managers getting the sack. I don't ever want to lose to Liverpool, and Liverpool fans don't ever want to lose to United. It's a rivalry. That's what a rivalry is, and I wouldn't want to demean that rivalry. So, look, maybe we beat Liverpool, he loses to Spurs and City and loses his job. We've still beat Liverpool, he's lost his job. So I don't want to lose to Liverpool. It's as simple as that. Some people have different things, of course. Mark, say your prayers like the other day, and Pastor Fred will grant you a wish. Well, I did pray last time, didn't I? But I'm not praying against Liverpool. It's demeaning. says the man who did it against Atalanta, and it worked. How can Ollie play the same team when he saw how vulnerable Atalanta made us at times? We can't always rely on a bit of class from Ronaldo to bail us out. We need a good tactical manager, says Lee. And hi, Mark. Got engaged yesterday. I'm hoping for a United win today and this already amazing weekend on the right note. Well, Daniel, I hope for you and every other United fan that it is a special weekend for us. But talking about the Atalanta game, we've got nearly 30,000 people watching, by the way. So please smash a like on the video and share. And make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And also make sure you click the link in the video description. We're giving away 2 tickets to a game of your choice. Well, we're not. Spond are. They're sponsoring the show. Spond is an app that you can use to organise your sporting events. If you're playing in a football team, things like this, it's free to download, no ads. It's fantastic. But they're giving away 2 tickets to a match of your choice. All you've got to do is click the link in the video description, the top line. It's free to enter. Just tell us which coach or person has had a massive impact on your life. And the best story from any of you will win 2 tickets. The idea being that you and that person go and watch a game, but no one's going to check. If you want to win it and say, well, that was in the past, I'm going to take one of my mates or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you can do that. So get involved. Links in the video description. Thank you very much to Spond. And we've got 2 tickets to a match of your choice to give away from Spond by clicking that link in the video description. It'll take a few seconds to do. Get on with it. But yeah, I think that, we're looking at Mo Salah on the screen here. I'm not massively worried about Salah. Somebody just said a minute ago, are you worried about Salah? And I'm not massively worried about Salah because I've seen Luke Shaw pocket Salah a lot of times. So, and in football, that tends to happen. You'll find a player that people can't really deal with. And I think Luke Shaw will deal with Salah because he's dealt with him time and time again. It doesn't mean that Salah won't, skin Luke Shaw because he's a world-class player. But I'm not worried about Salah. I don't know what Liverpool fans are thinking about Ronaldo, but I'm not worried about Salah. I'm worried about how much possession we're going to give to Liverpool. That's what worries me. Because if we give them 60% possession, then we're going to be defending quite a lot. Thank you so much, everyone. Truly appreciate it, says Daniel Luciano. And hi, Mark from Australia. First day back at school tomorrow from lockdown, 2:30 a.m. What are your thoughts on Kessie for 20 million this January, says Ziggy. You know what? Transfers, Kessie, I mean, the word you use there sort of sums it up for me. January. This is October, 15 minutes out from the biggest game of our season so far. It's a critical point in our season where we've had a bad start and we need to win. And then in 2 weeks' time, we're playing Man City. And that's only the start of November. And there's another 2 months after that till January. I don't even know if Ollie will be in charge in 2 weeks, let alone in 2 months. So yeah, look, Kessie's a player we should be looking at. We should be looking at a midfielder. We should have been looking at a midfielder anyway. But yeah, the transfers at the moment are not really my biggest thing. What do you think of the West Ham game, says Jude? I think it's a very good win for West Ham. And I think it's a very good win for Leicester. Puts Leicester up to joint with us on 14 points. Interestingly, on the league table, Manchester United are 7th now with West Ham winning and going above us. But obviously, that's everyone's played. We have got this game. If we win, we can go up to 4th ourselves. In fact, we would go to 4th if we won. But we are in 7th with 14 points, and Arsenal are in 10th with 14 points. So fine margins is where we're at. And with City to come, we can't afford to lose this game. We've got to win it. Got to go and win the game today. I just woke up and I'm getting sick of seeing Magaluf all over again, says Insane Official. Yeah, but Magaluf, I don't have a problem with Maguire and Lindelof, to be honest. I really don't. I think, Varane's injured. So it's McTominay and Fred that pisses me off. And it's seeing Pogba on the bench that pisses me off. I don't care how we win. I just want to see United beat Liverpool. Even if we do win, there's a higher chance they win the league. That's unacceptable, says Alec Dukas. Why hasn't Fabinho started? I'm sure someone in the chat can let us know. I don't know why Fabinho's not starting. I would say there's a big sprinkling of luck on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer again. When you think about the teams we've played this season, I think Villa had injury problems when we played them, but they did beat us. Everton, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin were out. West Ham, no Antonio. Leicester, no Ndidi. And now Liverpool, no Fabinho. So Ollie has been asked about the keys on Sky, and man said there's a load of keys, don't want it, give away. Absolutely clueless, says Neon. Keys? What are you talking about, keys? He's lost his keys? What I don't know. I don't know what you mean about keys. Jurgen Klopp's made some comments, and so's Ollie. Klopp has said we all know how good they are. Their individual quality is crazy. The counter-attacking threats, they are massive. Counter-attacking, you see. And we want to play as much as we can up in their own half, but we also have to stop the counter-attacks very quickly. That's from Ollie? What are you bloody talking about? Counter-attacks. We're the counter-attacking side. We're at home. We want to stamp our authority on the game, says Ollie. Good. We got to 60 minutes and made some subs. They did a very good job as well. They could have been disappointed when they're not in the team, but we have a big squad and a strong squad, and that's why the game's 90 minutes. There's loads of thinking behind every team selection. I felt the team had a good performance against Atalanta. You have to start on the front foot. You have to be dominant and show your quality and strong mindset. Then I know we'll get another 10% from the crowd as well. We're at home. We've got to stamp our authority on the game. Varane and Martial didn't make it. They're the two we're missing. Hopefully they'll be back maybe next weekend. You know what? I said this and I'll say it again. There's a massive part of me that I'd rather be winning the game 1-0 with half an hour to go. But actually, am I wrong to say I'd be more confident if we were losing 1-0 at half-time than winning 1-0 at half-time? Because I think if we're winning 1-0 at half-time, Ollie goes, protect what we've got, and we get attacked. If we're losing 1-0, we know what we do. We go for it, and it's wave after wave. And I think 1-0 can become 2-1 very quickly. So it's a very interesting game, and I think it's going to. The first goal is what I'm trying to say is the first goal doesn't necessarily win the game, and I think the way United play, sometimes it's not a bad thing if we concede the first goal. And I know that sounds bad, but I think we concede the first goal and we all get pissed off. I get pissed off. But actually, it's not necessarily a bad thing for us when you look at this season. It can, or last season, it can be a real kick up the backside. Sean says, team from Atalanta was good. What's he on about? Well, he loves this team. This is a massive, massive game, says Jordan. If Ollie loses, that has to be time up after bringing Zidane or Allegri. Love the content, says Jordan. I thought Allegri had a job now. Renate, thanks for the super sticker. Why did we buy Sancho, says Sante. Why buy players when they're going to warm the bench every game, says Vincent Marr. And who's starting for Liverpool, says Midget. So the Liverpool team is Alisson, Trent, Konate, who we think has been brought in for pace, Van Dijk, Robertson, no Fabinho. So it's Henderson, Milner and Keita. And the front three, no Mane, he's on the bench. It's Jota, Firmino and Salah. I mean, to be honest with you, when you compare the bench and you compare the first teams, the only thing that makes them better than us is Klopp. The only thing that makes them favourites is Klopp and his coaching. Because player for player, we're better, bench and on the pitch. But we all know they're better because they play better football. We've got to go and win. Got to go and win. Absolutely have to win this game. Liverpool resting players against United is the ultimate disrespect, says Mac the Knife. I don't think they're resting players. I think Mane's probably carrying something, a bit of an injury maybe. Fabinho definitely is injured. And I think he's gone with Konate because of pace. But it could be an interesting one because Konate's got no experience of the Premier League, really. And to put him into a game like this at Old Trafford, I'm hoping he gets swallowed up by the atmosphere. But because the atmosphere, we've not even spoken about the atmosphere because I think we take it as standard now. That atmosphere is going to be rocking today at Old Trafford. Absolutely rocking. Thanks for the super chats. Let me read some. Architect says, shoot out to Neon watching from Nigeria. Oma. And by the way, Ollie will still shout out, I think he meant. Will keep his job even if we lose. I agree. It's my birthday today. If we lose today, I'm Ollie out because he ruined the day. This is DK. We need to win regardless where you're standing on Ollie. Happy birthday, DK. Where I'm standing on Ollie is I want him to win. And where I stand on Ollie at 6:30 tonight on the match reaction, you will see. I'm one of the biggest Ronaldo fans ever since I was a little kid. Thing is, I've always supported Liverpool as a team as well. Let's see what happens, says Matteo. And playing Rashi and Greenwood together means long ball FC. We know what's going to happen. I'll be stunned if I don't see lots of diagonal balls from Lindelof trying to get in Rashford. Mark, when the board were pointing fingers at social media fans during the week, did you silently say, if you want to talk to me directly? So see, the club know exactly where we are. It's all about the club are trying to utilize the positive themes. Ollie is trying to utilize the positive themes because they don't like people who criticize them. But the reality is we've taken 1 point from 9. We've taken 14 from 24, and we are basically joint 10th at the moment. I know we're 7th, but everyone's got 14 points. We need to win. The criticism is justified, and I don't think it's right when people are calling fans who criticize not proper fans. And that's basically what the club are doing. It's what Ollie's doing, and it's not right. But we don't need to argue because Cristiano Ronaldo, in an interview with Sky yesterday, said, I don't care about criticism. Criticism is good. And you know why he knows criticism's good? Because he knows to be the winner he is in Champions Leagues and league titles and Ballon d'Ors, if you're getting criticised, you're not going to win. And if you are being criticised unfairly, then you use that as a motivating factor. So it's interesting that you get the club, McTominay, Ollie and others, even Bruno, talking about, noise, negative noise and ignoring it. But you get Ronaldo saying, I like it. And yet he's the biggest winner the game's ever had, really. So it just shows you how the club are trying to be a bit of a dictator. They're trying to say, if you're being critical, you're negative. And then you get one of the world's biggest, most successful sportsmen ever saying criticism's good. because people who are successful use criticism in a constructive way. They'll listen to it. Maybe there's something to learn, or they'll use it as a motivating factor to prove people wrong. There's nothing wrong with criticism if it's justified. How did Ollie get Ronaldo to accept this lineup, says Gerchen? And Jota for the back post header, Kanate for pace, the midfield to shut Bruno down. Klopp is aiming for our weaknesses, says the football genius. And what if they get a red card and we win 6-2? Trying to be optimistic, says Justin. Look, I think red cards, I think penalties in a game like this, we probably should have mentioned it a little bit earlier. I think it's absolutely possible. It's going to be that sort of a game. James Milner is always leaving a tackle in. There could be a red card in this. I mean, it'd be interesting if there was a first half red card for Liverpool, what United would do. You know, you'd have to get people like Pogba and Sancho on very quickly, because we're not set up to go at a team with 10 men. We're trying to counterattack, which is what Klopp's just said in his own pre-game match interview. How did you enjoy Sky yesterday? Watched the video earlier. It was really good, says NMCC. It was nice. It was nice. I mean, look, people were moaning because they're like, oh, you always moan about mainstream media. I mean, it's called the Saturday Social. It's not go and sit on with Jeff Stelling. It's like actually about, you know, having a conversation about a lot of different topics with influencers. So I did quite enjoy it, but it's a very different thing. Very different going to ad breaks and having a couple of minutes to talk about many different topics. Whereas what we're doing here, it's more free and easy, isn't it? Hi, Mark. It's my birthday today. Hope United win, says AJM. Thank you very much, AJM, for the super chat, and happy birthday to you. We're getting very close to kick off here. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We'll do a few more. Okay. And what do you think about the match? What's your score prediction going to be? Let us know in the chat. I can't remember whether I think I've just been saying draw to everybody, and I think it will be a draw, but I'm going to put a specific on that. I'm going to say I'm going to go 1-1. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're only 300 away from 167,000, so bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. A lot of people going 2-1 United. Some people are going 2-1 Liverpool. I think that's the excitement of the game, really. There's the updated league table for you on the screen as well. We're down to 7th at the moment. We won't drop any further than 7th, even if we lose, because we've got a +6 goal difference. But 7th is where we start this game, 7th. 8 points behind Chelsea in top place is where we start this game. We must finish this game in 4th, and we must finish this game 4 points off Chelsea. So, no, sorry, 5 points off Chelsea because they're 8. Players got to go for it. Crowd will be up for it. Let's go get it. That's what I say. Remember, we will be doing player ratings, which you can vote for in the second half, marking every player out of 10, 6 being the average. That's there for you to get involved in, and we'll certainly update you on that. But for now, it's time. It's time for Manchester United to deliver. And I say I don't get nervous. I can feel it in the stomach now. And that's not last night's dinner. It really is tension, I would say, because all your talk, all your thoughts, all your plans, all your feelings become a reality. You know, all the chats you have with Liverpool fans about, oh, you know, it's going to be a tight game, this, that, and the other. We're now approaching that point where, you know, you're going to find a result. And when you find a result, you don't know whether you're gloating or taking it. And that's it. That's what it's all about, isn't it? This is what it's all about, the reality of football and matches and playing and seeing how it pans out. So players are on the pitch. Thanks everyone who's watching. We will be with you all the way through till full time, and then we will have the match reaction for you as well. But it's set up lovely, and I think we will see a very tense game. There's only one game I find more tense than this, and that is the game at when it's at Anfield. I hate the game at Anfield because we definitely are the underdogs then. You just feel under pressure. But at least here we've got the home crowd. Mark, look at our starting lineup. We could have spent that 100 million on a CDM, says Tomo. Yeah, well, look at. I mean, even with Sancho and Van der Beek, there's 110 million pounds there sat on the bench, and yet you're starting McTominay and Fred, who I hope are going to have a good game today. You know, there is that opportunity. It's not that Scott is bad, but everyone on the bench so much better, says Gerchen. Look, I wouldn't sell McTominay. I wouldn't sell Fred. I think that they'd probably both be on the bench for me if we bought a CDM, but I think they're useful players. But look, we've got enough match winners. Marcus Rashford himself is a match winner. Cristiano Ronaldo, Mason Greenwood, Bruno Fernandes. I mean, they are the 4 players on the pitch at the moment that are going to be match winners. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, like, I look at that first 10 minutes. The one thing that is interesting is that sometimes we start slow, sometimes we start fast. If we start fast, the referee is Anthony Taylor. Lots of Liverpool fans not happy that he's the ref, but I don't rate Anthony Taylor. So I don't know what Liverpool fans are talking about, really. But of course, if you start fast and you go for it, you don't want to be picking up a red card. You don't want something dodgy to happen. I mean, we could get a red card. Fred could do something stupid. Bruno could do something stupid. So there's so many ifs and buts and maybes. But I just hope the game gets played out with 11 against 11 and we win the game because we're the better team. That's what I want to see. But we're off. I'll have a lamb sip at half time, please. A lamb sip at like an hour, something. Thanks. Got a bit of a headache. I don't want a lamb sip because Liverpool score. Ball's gone through to David Hay there. We are 27, 28, 29, 30 seconds into this game. Is that good for you? 37, 38, 39, 40. 41, 43, 44, 45. Okay. Let's go on a big adventure. And it's Liverpool starting off with the ball here. We're just booting the ball out of play. Fred and Lindelof a couple of minutes ago. So there we go. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Exciting times. I will be taking my notes for the match reaction, but let's go. Tomini passes it straight to Konate. Our passing's been a bit off here, but probably a bit nervous. You know, ball's bouncing about here. There's Greenwood nicely in. Bruno, Rashford. We need to. Oh, Rashford. There's a bit of a chance to break there. Come on, United wouldn't watch alone with anybody out, with nobody else as Ray Carl Brown or a. To be honest, I mean, I don't know whether it's because it's red against white and the red's more vivid, but we do seem to be pushing as a front five there. Intercepted by Fred. I would like to see us get hold of the ball a little bit today. You don't want to be giving good teams the ball. Christopher Walken is Klopp and Harry Potter as Ollie in the movie of this game, says Gurchin. Whatever that means. But, it's not settled down the game yet, so we're not really into the themes of what's going to happen. Both teams will be eager to just get a bit of the ball higher up the pitch, you know, stamp a bit of authority, which is obviously what Ollie said. A bit of a loose ball there. Fred gets it to Wan-Bissaka, though. Here's Greenwood. Goes back. See, look at the Liverpool press all the way back to David De Gea here. Liverpool press in a system that's so compact in shape. Like, nobody wanders out of space. Very hard to play through them. Konate's in well, but Fred always in. Ronaldo, he's got to shoot. Bruno. Oh, why did he go? Why didn't you go bottom corner, Bruno? That was a cracking chance for Bruno, and he smacks it over the bar. It's actually Green. I thought it was Bruno passing it to Greenwood. I think we all wish it had been. It's actually Ronaldo to Greenwood, who slips it lovely into Bruno, and he's got to score. For some reason, he's shooting across the goal, and he goes top right when he should go top left. Great chance, though, and it will get the crowd up, and we will be attacking the Stretford end in the second half, by the way. Ow. We're all right. But that was a good early chance from United where they created spaces, and look, he should have scored. He should have scored that. He should have scored. But it's a good start for United. Guire into Lindelof there. It does. I mean, look, it's it does feel like a weakened Liverpool side, but I don't want to say that much. I think they will miss people like Mane and Fabinho a lot. It would be like United not having Ronaldo and Bruno, really. I know they're different positions, but they are very important players for Liverpool, especially Fabinho. I think he gets a lot ticking. And I also don't think that Liverpool really. Salah, he slips Keita in and he scored. Is he offside? Is he offside? Is he offside? It's their first chance. It looks like they've carved us open. We're looking at, I don't know. It looks like it might be a goal. Reserve judgment here. It looks very easy for Liverpool. One pass, Lindelof's pulled out. Two passes, he's onside. Salah, Luke Shaw. Nobody's picked up. Where's the fucking midfield again? Where's Fred and McTominay? That is useful as tits on a nun. Why are they not following Keita? Why are they not following Keita there? Midfield again. Absolutely terrible. Why have they not got why runner from midfield, all on McTominay and Fred again? Ridiculous. He's clueless. He's absolutely clueless clicking them. He's absolutely clueless. I keep saying this week after week after week as well. It's not about them not being able to pass. They can't. They never pick up the run. How many times have we had this conversation? It's going back to Everton last year when it was 3-3. They don't pick up the runners from midfield. People think it's McTominay again. For fuck's sake. Firmino. David De Gea with the save. McTominay nearly costing us another goal. Absolutely terrible. Sub McTominay off. Absolutely terrible. It could have been 2-0. Firmino should have scored. Great save by De Gea. But it would have been on McTominay. But I tell you now, they don't pick up the runners. They don't pick up the runners. People think McTominay and Fred are rubbish because they don't score goals, they don't create goals, and they don't pass. They also don't mark up their players. That's Keita running through. Why is Fred or McTominay not running with Keita? He's a centre midfielder. It's Old Trafford. Go with your runners. That's a goal conceded that's not on De Gea, and it's not on. And Ollie looks stern. You're picking McFred, you prat. You pick them all the time. You can look angry. Oh, I'm Ollie. I'm Old Trafford's angriest man. You're picking him. I'm angry. Everyone else is angry. You pick them. Paul Pogba sat on your bloody bench, mate. Don't look angry. Don't pick them, mate. Stop picking them. They're crap. That goal is on the midfield. He's running from the midfield. And Fred and McTominay are like, oh, what a lovely walk. May as well be doing a bloody stadium tour. Pick up your runners. If you can't tell people to do that, what are you doing in training? What are you doing? Pick up your runners. They probably think they've got to pick them up. No, it means run with them. Follow your man. What are you doing in the first 10 minutes at Old Trafford, letting a Liverpool midfielder run off you? Oh. We can still win this game. But look, to be honest, I said, reset. Watch out for Jota here. Reset. I did say first goal in this game might not be a bad thing. It's very open. Salah's in again here. Ref, you're going to put your flag up? No. It's very open. It's very open, this game. Liverpool will be loving this. What did Paul Scholes say? I'm not talking about the foot. I'm talking about Klopp will be rubbing his hands together. Watch the goal back. Watch Keita, top of the screen. Where's the midfield? How can Luke Shaw be in a 2-on-1 there? He's a midfielder. People are blaming Luke Shaw. He's a midfielder. Keita scores. I can't believe we're 1-0 down because we're not picking runners up in the first 10 minutes. If it's the last 10 minutes and you're knackered, you might lose a runner. But in the first 10 minutes, to lose a runner from the midfield is abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Where's the discipline in this team? You gotta be careful here, you know. But as I said, good tackle by Fred. Go on, Rashi, shoot. Oh, I thought he'd scored. Good effort, just wide. As I said, being 1-0 down might not be a bad thing, because what happens with United when they're losing? We suddenly go, oh, sod it, let's play. And it's good play by Rashford here. And I think Allison had it covered. Yeah, he did. He did. He didn't stick his arm out. Tits on a nun. Tits on a nun. That's what our midfield are. A couple of tits on a nun. Useless. There's plenty of time left. I'm just fed up. You know what? Even if we go and win this game, I'm fed up of having to deal with conceding goals like this. If we win this game, he's got to never pick McTominay and Fred again. I'm telling you, they're costing us too many goals. Unpopular opinion, but Fred has started well. Good interceptions and passing. Kieran, he literally was at fault for the fucking goal, mate. Good interception. Fred started really well. Good interceptions and passing. Only down point cost us the goal. Watch the goal back, Kieran. Why is Fred on the bloody attack is the point. He's nowhere near Keita, who is actually on Fred's side. McTominay nearly makes it 2-0 to them, but it's actually on Fred's side. Watch the goals. Fred's up front for some reason. Totally, there's nobody holding the midfield. McTominay and Lindelof get pulled over this way, and Keita just wanders into the space because we've got nobody holding the midfield again. They're just better at football than us, you know. We knew that might be the problem. The way they're moving the ball about, they're just better at football than us. Where's the response, though? You know, we do this. I mean, look, I'm sure there'll be a response in the second half again. Stretford end, get Pogba on, but just do it from the bloody start. That's what I say. Do it from the start. Oh, for God's sake. What are we doing? Trent, 2-0. It's 2-0. It's bloody 2-0 as well. It's too easy and it's 2-0. And that's Harry Maguire now. It's catching. It's like a bloody virus. It's unbelievable. Bloody useless. What are you took? What's the plan? Get out. What is the plan? Oh, we must start off with some authority. What's Maguire and Shaw doing? It's like Spurs all over again. Who's picking up Trent? And it's onside again. It's a bloody tap-in. Who's picking up Trent? Where's Rashford? Where the fuck is Rashford? Who's not? You know what? Ricky's right. You can't just play two wide forwards on the wing because they don't track back. What's Maguire and Shaw doing? Where's Marcus Rashford? Where's fucking Fred again? It's Keita. It's a bloody shambles. People will blame Maguire and Shaw, right? Of course, it's nothing to do with De Gea again. Keita's a big part of it. He's a fucking midfielder. Fred's not there again. Where's Rashford tracking Trent? We're a bloody shambles here. An absolute shambles. Tits on a nun FC. Absolutely bloody useless. I'm telling you now. I'm keeping a mental note here. Why is Rashford not tracking Trent? Why is Keita being unmarked again by Fred or McTominay? People are going to blame Maguire and Shaw, but look at the people involved in the goal. Keita, where's the midfield? Trent, where's Rashford? 2-0 down again. 15 minutes gone. Oh, it could be anything. I tell you what, everyone get Patter Banton playing on YouTube because we need a bit of comeback. We need some comeback here. If you know, you know. Same team that from last week, same outcome. Humphrey. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of people getting comments and I need to read in here. How did Ronaldo accept this lineup? Scott and Fred with Pogba and Donny and Sancho on the bench as good. Look, we can still come back. We can still come back. I mean, look, it's Liverpool, not Atalanta. We can still come back, but I just think at the end of the day, McTominay shoots over the bar. Even if he's offside, you cannot win a league with such a liability in the defence. Maguire out, says supported United all my life, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Rashford is useless, says why though? And absolutely sick of this team that Ollie insists on going with. Did he learn nothing from Atalanta, says Sam Walton. Same team last week. We've done that from Humphrey. Mark, you're bang on about all of this. No one is doing anything they should. Shocking coaching, mate. This could be 5-0, says Brad. Well, you know, the stupid thing is we could still win this game. I know that sounds absolutely incredibly thick, but we could still win this game. But if we win this game, we're going to do it on individualism. He's going to have to sub. The reality is we started terribly against Atalanta on Wednesday night with this team. He comes into the biggest game of the season and picks the same team that started terribly against Atalanta because we won the game with a different team. He thinks he won the fucking game with the team that started on Wednesday. No, Ollie, that was the team that made it very hard to win. He's just a prat. At this point, it's Pratt FC. But the big thing is, McTominay and Fred are crap. Together, they're crap. Fred's not bad with Pogba. Maybe McTominay might not be bad with Pogba. But together, they cause chaos. And Rashford never tracks back anymore. So we're all talking about, oh, Rashford's going to tear Trent apart. We're 15 minutes in and Trent's got he's got an assist. And who's marking Keita? Because I think he's getting the freedom of Manchester. They're not picking Keita up at all, and we're playing two CDMs apparently. Our only hope now is complacency, that Liverpool think they've won the game like Atalanta did. Celtic says this is golden. How long do we reckon Tick Ollie will get the sack? Mark says, tell me. Oh, they ain't going to. The reality is, mate, anybody with a brain would be looking at this now and really be on the phone to somebody because it's so tactically bad. But they won't do. They won't be looking to do anything like that. Bruno, come on, Bruno. Over the bar from Ronaldo. Does Ollie think we're playing a good half again, says Brian? Time for Victor Ran. Maguire costing us goals. Maguire should have cleared that. He should take responsibility. I know Shaw's there, but Maguire's the captain. Whenever I used to play centre-back, if I'm running towards my full-back, I'm putting that out of play. He's got to take responsibility. He's twice the size of Luke Shaw. If he takes Luke Shaw out, he takes Luke Shaw out, but you take the ball. The second thing is Keita's unmarked again. Where's the midfield? And then the third thing is Trent Alexander-Arnold's free again. Where's Rashford? How can Ollie Sexuals defend this? We're worse than last year. Ollie out, says My Big Melons. There's a long way to go. The next goal is key. We saw this on Wednesday night, and I will say the same thing again. At the moment, we look dead and buried. I thought we were dead and buried against Atalanta. The next goal's key. If United get a goal, that crowd will start roaring, and then the momentum's with us. So 2-0. This is why 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline in football. Everyone says it's a cliche. It's not. 2-0 is a very dangerous scoreline because if 2-0, you feel out of it. If you get a goal back, you suddenly feel in it. So I don't think we're out of it yet, but we're going to have to improve. And as we've seen with United, sometimes, a lot of times, when Ollie's plan is just dead, the players just go sod it. Shaw is also in bad form. He should block cross today and on Wednesday, says Thomas. You nailed it. They are just better than us at football, and our owners accept that. Same thing every week. Season will be long gone once Ollie is let go, says Nick. In just less than 15 minutes, we're 2-0 down. If Ollie wins this game, let me turn to imbecile, says Agis. Leo, thank you and welcome to the Members Club. And Mark, I love you, but please stop defending Maguire. He's not good enough. Simple. I don't think I am defending Maguire, Mario. I'm just saying that it's a shambles. It's a tactical shambles. This is about coaching. This is not about individuals. We know individuals are not playing particularly well, but it's also a shambles. Like Rashford should be being told to track back Trent. We're not better than Liverpool. So why are we hanging up front? You've got to track the runners. I mean, there's question marks about whether Greenwood tracks runners, but Rashford doesn't track the runner there. Here is Rashford. Fred. McTominay. We've got to score the next goal. But no, yeah, I mean, look, Maguire's got a part to play in that goal. I think Luke Shaw's got a part to play in the goal. The midfield have got a part to play in the goal. And that's the thing for me. We're getting to the point now where there's so many people in the team who've got parts to play in the goals that we're conceding. And therefore, it's not about individuals. It's about tactics, isn't it? What is it going to take to play Donny, says Ruben. Paul Scholes munching on some toes and discuss right now, says Stephen. Okay. And Ollie wanted to keep a big squad as precaution for injuries and COVID, but still uses unfit Maguire and McFred, Donny, Lingard, Pogba bench for what? Says Adil. Leo says, love you, Mark. Ronaldo 7 goals incoming. Keep up the hope, says Leo. Ooh, Luke Shaw shoots wide. I wasn't looking. Why are we letting Ollie off? Donny and Pogba on the bench and look at our midfield. I don't think anybody is letting Ollie off Shade Designs. I really don't think anybody is. And I can't get my head around why Ollie is so reliant on McFred. There is no point signing the best attackers in the world, Ronaldo, Sancho, when the midfielders can't provide the service. He must change, says Emil. The thing is, Emil, people say he must change. He's been here 3 years. It's not like this is the first time this has gone wrong. He even said it in the interview himself. We've been in this position many times. Yeah, you've been in positions where your job's been in jeopardy many times and you managed to turn it around. But you're not going to turn it around. I said this when the team news came out. We might win this game with this team, but there's no future in it. It's not a team you can win a title with. This is a team to try and beat Liverpool. It's not a team to go and win a league title, is it? You're not going to win. There's no coherence. There's no fluidity. There's no chemistry. That team can't win the league because it can't go 38 games and win nearly every week. It can beat anybody, but it can also lose to everybody. When is he going to start to build a team that's meant to win a league? Because he's not going to be able to do it. And certainly, it's embarrassing when you look at the bench and you see Paul Pogba, Jadon Sancho, Donny van der Beek, maybe even Edison Cavani. You know, I'm at the point where I generally think Ollie thinks these are the best two in the midfield of the pitch. I believe he actually may be that incompetent. Austin, 100%, he thinks that's his best midfield because he's picked it the most over the last calendar year. There's a lot of people slipping on this pitch. I don't know whether United have done it on purpose, but here's Ronaldo. Not a great cross. Mark, this is Liverpool, not Atalanta or Villarreal. We've hardly ever come back against big teams. I think this goes 4-5-0. So the next goal's massive. I still think we can come back because it's what we do. Maguire has to be dropped as captain. The reason why he can't lead players, he's often making mistakes himself, says Andrew O'Brien. And Alariki says, Ollie keeps saying Maguire's leadership is essential. I don't see it. I know he's English, so infallible, but Maguire is just not intelligent enough. Always ready the game wrong, always in the wrong position, says Alarico. Well, Milner might be coming off now. What's he going to take to play Donny? Chilwell better than Shaw. What's your opinion? Not talking about that. Do I look like I'm in the mood to start talking about whether Saka's better than Greenwood or, you know, Shaw's better than Chilwell? I mean, I'm not in the mood for that. I'm in the mood for Manchester United to bloody start playing some decent football and get back into this bloody football game. That's what I'm in for. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We've got over 60,000 people watching. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We will have match reactions, fan vlogs, fan forum, and we will be doing player ratings that you can vote for in the second half. This is a note from Ricky, and I've said it myself, but I knew he'd say it. He said, we could have a decent win. I expect them to murder us. We've got 4 attacking players again. If we get murdered, loads of blame will be laid at the door of McFred to start with. We've got 2 in midfield against their 3. Plus their wingers track better than ours. On occasion, it will be 2 against 4, maybe even 5 now. And then if we get battered, it's definitely the manager's fault. But players-wise, the biggest problem will be Bruno being too detached from the midfield and then the wingers not being in shape enough. Like I say, with a bit of luck, they could win. I really don't fancy us, though. That was before kickoff. And then he's just messaged me saying nobody about. And he's half right. I mean, Ricky's got I believe, an unfair obsession on Bruno, but he is right about the wingers. They're not tracking back. They're not tracking back, and it is a huge problem. Milner's coming off and Jones is coming on. So that's another player that Liverpool have had to take off, considering they haven't got Fabinho as well. So we're losing to Liverpool here without Fabinho, without Milner now. No start for Mane either. This is what we're losing to right here, right now. We're losing to a team that's got players out. You know what, though? Am I the only one that thinks we can come back? I do think I think we're more than capable of coming back. It just seems to be the United way at the moment. Get battered for the first 40 minutes, half an hour, and then to suddenly start playing football. A lot of people saying, yes, you're the only one who thinks we're going to come back. I do think we're going to come back. Ollie has not beaten Liverpool as a manager and has looked to see that he's not going to change this, sadly, says Peter. Maguire has been to blame for both goals. How can he keep playing so crap but keep getting picked and be our captain? Says Tom. We feel like we're coming back into this game a little bit more. Is Mason Greenwood? Got to pass, Mason. You've got to pass, Mason. Good ball. Bruno tries the cross. Salah against Rashford. I'm sick of United relying on being doggy style FC. Coming from behind isn't a tactic, says Elijah. It baffles me how the players don't push back on the McFred system. Officially, Ollie out now, says Paris. And we can definitely come back, but it's the same team we played against Atalanta. Just on that, we need a managerial change, says Osvaldo. It's over for Ollie, says Varane. It has to be. The experimentation of hiring championship level managers who happen to be ex-players is over. That's maybe a question for the match reaction or later on in this game, depending on who scores the next goal. The big question about that would be, and I don't really want to get into it at the moment because I still think we can get back into this game. But the big question there is that it becomes about the board at this point. Are they competent enough to realise that this is a really bad situation that we're in? And when will Ollie realise he can play the Fred position as he did at Ajax, as Joseph Donny's talking about that? That's from Joseph. Rashford. You see, this is the problem with McTominay and Fred as well, is it just goes side to side because neither of them can play a probing pass. But Bruno plays a probing pass. Green with the shot. Corner. But you see, that's part of the problem in itself. Everyone will celebrate the fact that Greenwood's had a shot, but look where he shoots from. Comes into Greenwood. He should be looking to put a cross into Ronaldo. He shoots from somewhere he'll never score from. And yes, we win a corner, and maybe we score from the corner. But this is my problem. If that's Jadon Sancho, he keeps working the ball to create something. But Rashford and Greenwood will always look to shoot, which means when they always look to shoot, you'll never see a creative thing for Ronaldo. I don't like Greenwood and Rashford in the team. I don't like Liverpool when they've got the ball in these situations as well. McFred defines Ollie as a manager. All three need to go. Fred is useless at getting behind the ball when defending. Done it for both goals. Any other manager wouldn't have either of them in the team, says NMCC. And we can win if we just defend, then hit quick where our strength is. Ollie is dope, but we stuck with this bloke. Combat win, says Garbage. One clean sheet in 20 games. Tomley heads it straight to Keita. I say he heads it away. Henderson put a cross in there. That'll be a goal kick. Oh no, it's not a corner. I wouldn't want to be the person sitting next to Adam at the moment. I bet he's having kittens, says Gaza. The only reason we can come back from behind is because the players ignore Ollie after getting hammered, says Marcos. When will Scott simply say, look, Ollie, I'm not good enough. Pick Donny or Pogba, please. I think Fred's been the problem. I think somebody said it there. I mean, look, when Fred and McTominay play together, they become McFred and it becomes a problem. I still think individually, Fred with Pogba isn't bad, and maybe McTominay with Pogba isn't bad. But together, they become a bloody mess. And I think that both goals, it's more Fred than it is McTominay. Watch them back at half time. Keita's involved. Well, Keita scores the first goal, but the second goal is involved, and there's no midfielder there. And that can never be the case. And it should never be the case in the first 20 minutes at Anfield. No, it feels like it's at Anfield. It should never be the case in the first 20 minutes at Old Trafford that you are not picking up runners. And you know what? Paul Scholes is right. We're playing with a front four. You know, we are. Rashford and Greenwood and Ronaldo are playing very high up the pitch. Oh my God. Salah's in here because of Rashford. Great save by De Gea. De Gea again. Dave saves again. Now that can be a catalyst, and it has been a catalyst in the past. That was the game there if Salah scores. They're just so more effective at moving the ball. Why don't someone in coaching staff go to Maguire and point out what he's doing wrong? It's been too many instances, says GJ. Friggin' hell. Just watching this back now. I mean, I'd be very disappointed if De Gea had got beaten from there. I don't think the fans would be booing because they're better than that, as Ollie says. They're better than that. I can't hear anyway because I don't have the audio on for the match when I'm watching. I'm not listening to that, but no, we bottom. Ollie could fix all this, says DJ. Don't play McFred and demand players track back and play football the right way. Fact he doesn't or can't shows he's not the man, says DJ Marshall. And we're not a real team, and unfortunately we're playing a real team, says JP Smith. It's another corner here. I mean, it's a weird one. I'll put my hand up here and say I could see United coming back because we're playing with a front four. Like, we actually are playing a 4-2-4. It's like every time we get the ball, we are like, there are lots and lots of options on the attack. But should you be playing with the front four? And how often can you play with a front four? how often can you do this? Rashford is a joke. The press loves him, but Dan James would be better than this guy. He never tracks backs as Victor. Look, Marcus Rashford's a fantastic footballer. But the problem for me is I like Rashford, I love Ronaldo, and I like Greenwood. But they're all individualistic forwards. There's no creativity there. He's got to play. Well, look, there's 74 million reasons why he's got to play Jadon Sancho. But if you want one reason, creativity. He's a creative. He's not looking to cut inside and shoot. He's looking to create. He's looking to, make things happen. He's looking to pass and move. But Ollie, look, the reality is, even if we win this game, and we saw it against Atalanta, even if we win this game, good intersection by McTominay. Come on, you've got to get the shot off. Oh, Ronaldo. Even if we win this game, we know how we're going to win it. It's going to be gung-ho. It's going to be, we've messed up, so Rashford with the shot. And it's starting to follow the Atalanta vibes, to be fair. But yeah, the trouble is, it's like you can't play like this every week because you don't play at home every week. I suppose one answer would be, well, if we do it against Atalanta and we do it against Liverpool, Mark, we can do it every week. But you can only, this is exclusively for home games. You're 2-0 down, you're absolutely out of the game. You get a goal back, the crowd roars, and then you go and win 3-2. But you won't be able to do that at the Etihad or at Spurs or the Emirates or anything like that because you won't have the crowd. Our only hope in this now is the crowd. And it's becoming tiresome because it's the crowd who is becoming the coach. The coach is losing as the game, and then the crowd is winning as the game. It's not the team that it's the manager and the coaching staff that needs changing, says Loz. What an embarrassment, says Derek. Please sack this manager. We're 10 games in and he can't get the defensive midfield organised, says John. And this goes beyond individual players. The errors in our team are systematic. We could change the full 11 and still have the same problems, says Nathan Brown. Oh, look at that from Liverpool. Firmino, if they go wide again, Jota, Salah, Keita, Salah. Oh, it's over. It's over. Forget it. It's absolutely over. He's got to go. He's got to go. That's it. That's the match. 3-0, 37 minutes. Too easy. Pulled apart. Absolutely all over the place. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. And it's another goal where I'm watching it back. Keita. 1-2. Salah. It's just pass and move football. And it's bloody Keita again. Who's marking Keita? Tell you what, get the mayor of Manchester because he needs the freedom of Manchester. He's bloody had it all game. Who's marking Keita? Every goal, Keita's been free. Do we think he's got COVID or something? It's like social distancing on Keita. It's bloody ridiculous. I've never seen such a bloody shambles as this. It's like they don't mark. I tell you what, nobody predicted this. 3-0 at half-time against your biggest rival at Old Trafford. And the fucking owners want us to sing songs. You're not a real fan if you get moody and you criticise. What a prat you look like now, Manchester United Football Club. What a prat you look like now, Ollie. Oh, those fans know better than to boo us. They fucking know better than you. They know better than you, mate. This is a bloody shambles. You got away with it against Villarreal. You got away with it against Atalanta. Even if we come back and win this 4-3 or 3-0, get rid. This is an embarrassment. This is lower than anything. 3-0 down to your biggest rival, and they've absolutely bantered us. Every part of me doesn't want Liverpool to win this game. But there's not one part of me that can say we've been unlucky or, you know, there's not much between the two sides. They're miles better. Absolutely miles better than us. It's embarrassing. Oh, Ronaldo's in. He's offside. All 3 goals, Kate has been free. I said it. You know what? I said it at the end of last season. I said if he goes with McFred this year, I'll end up being Ollie out. And he's done it. He was warned, and I'm not talking about me as an individual. All last season, everybody said if he goes with McFred, he's going to lose us, and he's fucking done it. Mr. Stubborn. Mr. Stubborn. If I tell you what, if anybody from the club is watching, you're fucking clueless if you think this manager is the right man. I don't care how many teas he puts in your coffee. I don't care if he parks your car, does your shopping. I don't give a shit anymore. The reality is, Friends United, mates rates, this is shit. It's absolutely shit. And the whole world can see it's shit. And I'm telling you now, Liverpool fans will be going, oh, I don't know. Let's keep it at 3. We don't want him to get the sack. In fact, let's let him have a couple of late goals and make it look like they came back. It's always been about McTominay and Fred. It's always been about McTominay and Fred, and he's fucking cost us this game because Keita has been a part of 3 goals for them, and he plays in midfield. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe I'm going to have 45 minutes watching us play, deciding what I think should happen with United. It's bloody embarrassing. There's been no response. There's been no fight. There's been no bloody taking it to them. 3-0. Appalling. Absolutely appalling. Get me a Lemsip. I've got a headache. If Ollie really cares about the team, he should resign. All I hear is this is not the United way. Unfortunately, with Ollie, this is the United way. Get out, Ollie. Just get out, says Sunshine Digital Media. And still Klopp is the one screaming at his players with Ollie is chilling. Yeah, well, FIFA Football Manager Better's out, isn't he? He's probably telling Carricky to load it up. Quickly, Carricky, load up Football Manager 22 and run the games through to this scenario and see what I would do as a computer, because I've got no idea as a person. It's not picking McFred. It won't let you. It says it's a stupid idea. Computer. The horrible thing is that the 3 Liverpool goals were taken so well. Like they were football goals. They just literally took the piss. You see that ball where, I can't remember, I think it was Salah into Firmino, the little back flick, and Maguire and McTominay just stood there watching it with their tongues out. Like a couple of tired dogs that have been on a big long walk. You can't be arsed. How many points are we off the top? 8, Sharath. 8. We've got to be careful of goal difference, actually. I said we wouldn't lose 7th. We could lose 7th because we've already conceded 3. We had a +6 goal difference. We might already have lost it, actually. We're still... Oh, look, Scooby-Doo. He's won a free kick. Put him back. Pick him every week. He's won a free kick. He's a Scooby-Doo. He puts lots of passion in, you know. Bullshit. This is what happens when people champion effort. You need more than effort when you're playing quality teams. And don't tell me these players are playing for the manager. I've never heard such a big lie in my life. People don't want to sack him because he's likable, but what is there to like about this? Says Salim. Mark, at least Fred's smile is brightening the scoreline. Yeah, smiles and efforts. Always good to see. Good run by Rashford, but there's nobody there. Do you remember one hard tackle this half? At least show some fight and show that you care. It's like a pre-season friendly. The thing is, it's embarrassing, Rich. It's absolutely embarrassing that we're going in at half-time again, 3 down. God's sake, 3-0 to the Scouse Pratt. Screw McFred, always preferred KFC. Here's Greenwood down the right-hand side. I mean, the game is very stretched when we attack. Good shot, Ronaldo, saved. People don't want to... I've done that one as well. Oh, it's going to... Well, it's a bit of a fight going on now with Ronaldo and Bruno. Where's the rest of the United players? What? Bunch of prats we've got in a United shirt, I tell you. I'd have been in there. I'd have slid into that. If there's no ball to win, I'd have just slid into Van Dijk. I'd have took him out. I don't care. Get a fucking red. Yellow card for Ronaldo. He's not bothered. I'd get a red, get an early bath. Give a red to Ollie. Can you get Anthony Taylor? Can you give a red to Ollie? I'll tell you what, he could have got a red for that. I think Liverpool fans hopefully would just give us a bit of sympathy. No, he does kick the ball, to be fair. He doesn't kick the player. Well, we're not approaching full-time. We're approaching half-time, but maybe we're approaching full-time on Ollie's career. Probably not. I mean, a lot of people said, would you be Ollie out if we lost this game? You know what? The scary thing is, I'm talking about this pragmatically now. I'm talking about this defeated. I've got no more rants to give. I've got no more shouts or screams to give. I'm totally defeated and not shocked. You know what? I didn't think we would lose this game. I predicted a draw. But the one thing that amazes me is that I can't see a yellow card for Fred here. High foot. I can't say I'm surprised. We've taken 1 point from 9 before today. We've taken 14 from 24 before today. Unless we get a miracle, unless we get an absolute miracle, we will have 14 points from 27. Where's the leadership from Harry Maguire? Like, what? They're just walking about. Oh, he looks like a great captain. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's the captain, that we miss his leadership. Just stood there like a miserable sod doing nothing. Ollie would definitely won't do any subs on half-time and we'll be saying post-match that we played well in the... He's got to make subs at half-time, Harakesh. You know, you may as well just go for it. Thank you. Give him time. Give him time. We're back in 1989. Get this fraud out of the club. Always going to be a legend as a player, but not good enough, says Ethan. If we lose, we lose. It's the way we are losing. It's embarrassing to watch. I think we'll concede more. Salah. It's 4-0. Oh, fucking hell. It's time to go, mate. I'm sorry. I tell you what, I'm not ranting on this goal because I think it does me and nobody else any favors. Like, if I start ranting, I'll come across as a dickhead. It's time to go. Like, somebody in that football club do something. Zidane, get him in. You're up against Klopp. You're up against Pep. You're up against Tuchel. This ain't messing about. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Varane, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Paul Pogba, Mason Greenwood. He's benching Pogba. He's benching a £74 million player. He's picking a couple of players that wouldn't get in a Newcastle midfield in the midfield. We're 4-0 down. We've taken 14 points from 27, 1 from 12, and you think we're on the right path. You're as bad as him. You're worse. Glazer's out. Sack Ollie now. It's got to go. He's got to go. You can't be 4-0 down. This is one of the worst results in our history. We're 4-0 down at Old Trafford at half-time to Liverpool. You can sing Ollie's at the wheel if you want. He's got to go. It's humiliating. That's the walk of shame. I feel for him. I feel gutted for him. That is a club legend, and he's walking into that. I just feel very, very sad. Very, very sad. And I knew I would feel sad when this happened. And you will have people all over social media calling him a Wally, calling him a PE teacher, being vile. And we know who these people are because, you know, ultimately it's about them being right. That is a club legend who has been absolutely humiliated because the people at the top have allowed this club to just become a mates club. It's a joke, and it's been a joke for a long time. But calling it out, you get called not a real fan. You know, everybody, we really should be singing Ollie's at the wheel. That's what we should do. What did Ollie say? Fans should know better than to boo. I think fans know better than the fucking coaches. They know better than the owners. The whole club is a mess from top to bottom, and it's a bloody disgrace that they haven't seen this coming. I'm just gutted. I'm absolutely gutted, and there'll be no part of me that's happy to say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to get the sack. I'm not happy. Not happy about it at all. But this season is 14 points from 27. That game's gone. 4-0. It ain't FIFA. You're not going all out attack and playing 2 at the back and winning this. It's gone. Nobody comes back from 4-0. Newcastle against Arsenal. But the reality is we're not coming back. We're not going to come back. He's lost the players. He's lost the fans. And now, for me, it's about looking at the real problem in this football club. The fucking owners. The owners are the problem in this football club. Because will they make the move that they need to make now? He's got to go tomorrow. He's got to go tonight. He's got to go. He will survive this because our owners are useless. And that's the next battle. This onslaught of nonsense from people who work in that club who don't even support the club. That club is riddled with people in power, from social media to communications to the board. They don't support Manchester United. They champion social media interactions. They champion shirt sales, but it's manipulative dictatorship. All week, all I've had is abuse, and you've had abuse, and everyone's had abuse because we criticised crap football. We've heard that you've got to sing, you've got to be better. You know, the real fans are the people who are singing. We've had all this for the last few days, and who's been proved right? I had an argument with a bloody ex-legend on social media trying to belittle me because I was saying criticism is valid. It's about standards. Oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's not about saying Ollie out. It's about the standards of the football club and the standards of the coaching. It's not about being proved right. The problem at that football club is top to bottom. Mates rates. Murtaugh's not good enough. Fletcher, Carrick, McKenna, Phelan, Ollie, Glazers, Arnold, Woodward. They're not good enough. They're not good enough. And I tell you what, those players are good enough, but they may as well be Norwich. They're playing like Norwich. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And it's not as easy as Ollie out anymore. It's never been as easy as that. And I'll still say what I've always said. I'd rather see the Glazers out before I see Ollie, but that's not going to happen. They are the thing that's been destroying this football club for 16 years. And the only reason we were successful in the first few years is because we had the greatest manager that's ever lived, who won things despite them. And as soon as he walked away, it was inevitable that this was going to happen, because all they're bothered about is money and they're not bothered about football. Ollie will walk into the dressing room and sit on a bench while Ronaldo and Bruno roast the entire squad, says Nathaniel. Can you sack a manager at half time, says Benjamin. They need to get on the fucking phone. The worrying thing is they need to get on the phone. Get me a phone. Chris Tarrant, phone a friend. Get bloody Zidane on the phone. I tell you what, if I was Ronaldo, I'd say don't go in the dress. Pogba's walking in, taking his, put your kit back on. But Ollie wants me to go on. I've got a mission for you. Sod off, get some good reception, ring Zidane to ask him if he wants the job. I'll sort the dressing room out. It's not worth bringing Pogba on. Start again with a proper manager who's allowed the free. But the scary thing is, you know what? Total respect for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not going to start being abusive of him as an individual or as a person, because it's football and I like him. But what I will be abusive about is the absolute shambles that it is. It's an absolute shambles. But even if we sack Ollie, what they're going to do, they'll probably get Southgate in. They're useless. They've been here. This has been happening for 8 years. They've appointed 4 managers now. 4 managers. How the hell do the board think this is okay and that they are backing Ollie? This is disgusting. Because they're clueless, Reese. They're clueless. The only people in this football club who know anything about this football club are the fans. We've spoken about managers for 8 years that we should be going for. They always get it wrong. And they won't, even if they make a change, they won't not have Richard Arnold or Woodward as CEO. They won't get rid of Murtagh as director of football. They might change the manager. They probably still keep Carrick and McKenna as the coach. Like, we need wholesale change in that team, in that squad, from top to bottom. This result is due to the incompetence of the owners. If they were football people, they would be ringing Zidane right now. What have they done all week? Since last week's humiliation against Leicester, what has this football club done? They spent a week spinning PR about how the coaches are good, and we're not Moments FC, and the fans that are critical are not real fans. That's what they spent their time doing, telling everybody from Romano to Ducker to Lucas that they're not looking for another manager. That's been the fruit of Manchester United Football Club's week. The writing was on the wall against Leicester that we're shite and that we're not going to get any better and that we're going to play Liverpool and City in the next few weeks. I mean, what are City going to do to this team? It could be 9-0 at half-time against them. If I was Ollie, I'd want to get out now, because what Man City are going to do to us, it's terrifying to think. But what have United's board done since last week getting humiliated by Leicester? They've got loads of spin out about, no, we're not even looking for another manager. Oh, well done. Well done. You're a bigger bunch of prats than we thought. Fans who criticise aren't real fans. That's been something they've spent a lot of time on as well. Just bloody useless. Useless. Absolute useless. Abdallah, thanks for the super chat. I think Chris Wilder would do a perfect job for you. He has tactics that work and is a brilliant man manager. Dylan, I know it's a joke, but it might not be a joke at this point. Can we sack him now and just get Fergie in from the stands for the second half, says Joshua. On the team, if he doesn't make 3 subs at half-time, I'll be stunned. And if he does make 3 subs at half-time, it's an admission that he's useless. Hi, Mark. If I see an Instagram post from United after the game saying, trust the process, I may lose it. I'm going to nick that. I'm going to nick that and tweet it because I think it's a great point, Akil. I'm just going to change it prices. I'm going to change it a little bit. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Thanks, everyone who's watching. We have got match reactions. We have got fan vlogs. We have got a fan forum. I have got to do another 45 minutes. I actually keep thinking it's 3-0. It's 4-0. I just, thanks to, for me, Ollie's. It's some people, the worst thing is, it's some people's birthdays. I've done shout-outs for birthdays saying, it's my birthday today. I hope we can win. Well done, Ollie. Well done, United. You're ruining birthdays now. Those people are crying. We're crying. It's not even our bloody birthday. It's Liverpool's bloody birthday. Call Zidane, says Tariq. There's nearly 100,000 people watching, and I just hope that people realise that as easy as it is to start, that is a Lemsip. That actually is a Lemsip. I have got a headache. I didn't have a headache at the start of the game. No lying, that is a Lemsip. But you know what? I care about this football club. I want this football club to win. I wanted us to win this game. I could never be that person that was like, let's lose to Liverpool so we can get rid of Ollie. And if you are that person, I feel like a part of us is died if we've got fans doing that. You know, we should never want to lose to Liverpool, and never in these circumstances. Imagine how great it feels to be a Liverpool fan now. Not only are you in a title race, you've absolutely annihilated Manchester United at Old Trafford in front of the world with Cristiano Ronaldo in that team. It's a bloody disgrace. It's an embarrassment. I feel ashamed. But I sit here, unlike some people in our fan base, who will sit there very happily abusing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I will not do that. He's out of his depth. He needs to go. But this will carry. He'll carry this for the rest of his life. He will carry this for the rest of it. I mean, look, he might not go. He might still be here, but he's got to go. It gets to a point where the club can say what they like, but even the most staunch Ole will not stick by him after that, because you can't. You can't. I can't remember. If somebody can tell me a situation where we've been in this situation before, where we've been 4-0 down to Liverpool at Old Trafford and absolutely had our pants pulled down. You know, Klopp may as well have shares in KY Jelly because he's lubed us up proper today. We've been absolutely screwed over by a team that's just not even at their best. They've got no Fabinho. They've got no Mane. They lost Milner. They're not. I don't think Liverpool are even playing that well. And they're 4-0 up. You know, 4-0 up at Old Trafford. Arsenal would have a DVD out now. You know, I'm fair play to them. And Liverpool should have a DVD out. But I think Liverpool fans would be sat there going, I might watch it on Match of the Day. You know, it's not vintage Liverpool. That's what I'm saying. It's not been sensational. It's almost been like a training ground exercise. And that's what makes it worse. If it was Liverpool, 10 out of 10 Liverpool absolutely all over us, it would still be horrible. But it would be like, oh my God. I don't feel like Liverpool have been that good. They've just made it it's been like training ground. And as I said, I can't remember the fourth goal now. I'm almost given up on it. I don't remember what happened with the fourth goal, apart from Salah scored. But it's Keita's freedom as well. I mean, and look, you know what? People will know this. What did I say at the end of last season? If we come into this season and he goes with McFred, I'll end up being Ollie out. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. That's on him. I said it. If he sticks with McFred, I'll end up being Ollie out. And it was so obvious, and a manager can't see it. United has never been 4 down in the Premier League at home or away against any team. Fucking hell. Well, you know what? That's what I mean. It's not about if he goes. He's got to go. I don't know whether anybody... I couldn't hear what happened at half-time. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of Liverpool chanting. Was there any booing? Daniel, thank you very much for the chat. Last week was the last straw to break the camel's back. This week is the camel has shattered vertebrae, says Paul. And last week, absolutely right, Mark. Paul are not even playing well, says GJ. And I respect what Ollie has done and where the club has got us to, but I think he should walk away while we still respect him, says Umkar. Mark, it's not like we've not had our chances during the match. The players should be doing better, says Akalesh. Mark, I feel sorry for the terminally ill kids who have to see this. I don't know what it's got to do with that, Aidan. That's a bit of a stupid comment, to be honest with you. Absolutely, Mike. So we'll look here. Mark, besides the stuff that's happening on the pitch, thank you for making us United. Hope you are well, mate. Much love from South Africa, says Claude. Thank you for watching, mate. We conceded 4 in the full last game in one half with a better side and weak Liverpool squad. We're down 4.5, says HTD. Marcellino, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Get Ollie out. Just get out, says Sunshine Digital Media Agency. Scholes was bang on, says Athlete Mentality. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Well, there's people walking out of the ground. There's people walking home. It's not hundreds, but they've just shown an aerial view of Old Trafford. People are walking out. Let me just say, if you don't watch the United stand, please subscribe bottom right hand corner because I think we're hopefully going to be in for a very interesting week. I expect him to be gone tomorrow morning. I don't know whether that will happen, but I just don't see how. Abramovich would have sacked him already. He definitely would now. Man City would sack him. Liverpool would sack him. Everton would sack him. Villa would sack him. I mean, I'm struggling to think of a club that wouldn't sack him. Whether that's nice or not, it's reality. You know, Pogba's on, but Pogba for Greenwood. Pogba for Greenwood. Will the board sack Ollie after this result? Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And also, player ratings. We'll be doing player ratings on the 70-minute mark for the match reaction. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I think it's going to be the most interesting one we've done. Second half is about to kick off. Pogba is started, and Pogba is on for Greenwood. Yeah, I'll shout out in a moment when it shows it. We're 45 and 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I don't actually understand what he's done with Mason Greenwood as well. That's a red card tackle, that is, by Bruno. Gets a yellow. Could have been a red. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is Ole Glazer Solskjaer. He is doing this on purpose. He knows the problem is McFred and Magluff, but still his role is to destroy United. Well, I don't think he is, Arch. I actually think he's a man with a coaching setup that's just completely out of his depth. I have always been in, Ollie in. I'm the most positive man on earth, but the team look lost and change doesn't always help. It's time. Thank you for all you do, Mark, says Louis, HP. Let Ronaldo take over for Ollie before Zidane takes over or anyone, says Jason. I can't take this loss if it means Ollie is out at the final whistle. You can take the loss, says Sarab. Mark, I'm not violent, but when I saw Van Dijk chest pump Ronaldo, I knew Vidic would have came in here like Tyson Fury. Raven, I would have literally gone in and got a red card. I would have slide tackled him, you know. But the thing is, Harry Maguire's the captain of this team. Have you seen any captaincy today? I just think, you know, that's a great point for the match reaction. It's like, I don't want to go off after individuals because for me, it's very obvious that it's the coaching, but I think there'll be a red card in the second half as well. I do. And Pogba for Greenwood is just, he refuses to take McFred off, by the way. Click that up if you want, but it's true. That's the man for you. He's so stubborn. He won't take McTominay or Fred off because it's an admission that he's got it wrong and that he's crap, basically. That's why he won't do it. The players are the ones who will get Ollie the sack. Surely they're getting to a point where they can't go on like this. Chris, can I just repeat? If anybody thinks these players are playing for Ollie, you do not go 4-0 down at Old Trafford. You know, the players ain't playing for Ollie. That's the biggest myth ever. They ain't playing for him. Never in a million years. Never in a million years are they playing for him. Welcome to the Members Club, Joe and Ollie's a prat on wheels, says Swaff, and Shaw has been really bad. All goals were heavily developed on his side, says Waylish. Mate, I really wouldn't start talking about individual players because I think you just, every time you start talking about individual players, you're taking blame away from where it really resides. This has been a coaching issue all season. Just got back from my shower. Any changes, says Harris? Depends how long your shower was, mate. Really. Yeah. So what to expect this second half? I mean, Pogba's just lost it in the middle. He could have slipped in Jota. He slips in Salah. 5-0. That's Pogba's fault. 5-0. I mean, he's got a hat trick. Salah's got a hat trick at Old Trafford. Paul Pogba stuck on it in the middle. The ground's going to empty. Like the ground will empty. It's just, I ain't got nothing left to start shouting anymore. Yeah. Do you want an analogy? They're about as useful as a solar powered torch. Yeah, I've got loads of those, but at the end of the day, I haven't got much more to say. Maguire looks like he's running through porridge. Salah just never looks in any trouble. David De Gea has conceded 5 goals and couldn't do anything about any of them. And it's just men against boys. It's a shambles. And the scary thing is, the club are so thick. They weren't expecting this. They haven't even had it. They won't have had any phone calls. There'll be nothing in. They won't have prepped anything. They won't have a bloody clue. Well, there'll be, at best, they'll probably go for another interim. It'll be Darren Fletcher, interim manager, or something stupid like that. Well, I wonder if any ex-players are comfortable enough to not be biased now. Or are they still going to put their mates first? Kenny Dalglish is laughing his head off. Sir Alex Ferguson looks devastated. The thing is, we talk about history and we talk about recovery, and I don't think we've ever been in this position against Liverpool. 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Well, certainly not. We've never been in this situation. This is as low as it gets. This is lower than a worm's arse. This is not. It's almost. It's so low you can't rant. This must be what it was like for Arsenal when they lost 8-2. It gets to a point where you just like, I can't. What can you say? The ground is starting to empty a little bit. Well, yeah. Ronaldo scores a goal, 5-1. There won't be any Sue today. She's left him. I mean, he might be offside. He tell you what, I don't think anyone's celebrating. It's a good goal by Ronaldo, but I think he might be offside. The pass from Maguire, I think his shoulder might be offside. I wouldn't count it. It's a good goal by Ronaldo, quality goal actually, but we'll see. I think it might be offside. I think that shoulder's going to be offside. Yeah, it's offside. Offside. It's a shame. It doesn't rain, it pours, does it? We're like the chicken who gets invited round for dinner and then gets there and realises we're the dinner. And that's what it's all about. However many thousand Anfield fans, Liverpool fans, Scousers at Old Trafford having the time of their life. And that's not acceptable. That's why the rivalry that we spoke about all week, and for me, would never, ever want to lose a game to lose a manager. It's not palatable. It makes me throw up. He might be gone. They got the ball, Maguire there. He'd be off. Red card. If he's not got the ball, he's off. No, I think he gets the ball. I think Maguire gets the ball there. If he doesn't, no, I think he takes the player first. Actually, it might be a red. If he goes and reviews it, it'll be a red. He's given a yellow. How can you? I mean, how can you give a yellow when he's the last man? It's just mad. Absolutely madness. Even the ref is going easy on us. Jesus wept. Oh, this is easily the hardest watch along I've ever had to do. It's humiliating, absolutely humiliating to know. Oh, I can see the score in the top left. It's just this is a low. This is. I mean, the biggest low of as a Man United fan I can think of in the last sort of 10 years has been that Aguero thing. But and nothing will beat that. But even when you look at that, that was because we didn't win a title. Salah straight into the wall. There'll be more goals here for Liverpool. I'll be stunned if they don't make it 6. I just want to see what people said about that. Somebody said it's not a red because have you never heard of the double jeopardy rule? I mean, are people really thick? Double jeopardy is to do with with getting a penalty, you twat. Absolute knobhead. Talking about stuff you don't know about. Look, for me, look, I'm not going to mess about. I do a lot of things on That's Football where people say you're being biased, and I try not to be biased on That's Football. I always look at it. If that happened against United, I'd say it was a penalty, this, that, and the other. If he's given the foul by Harry Maguire on Jota there, if he's given the foul, you can't give him a yellow card. You got to give him a red. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters not. I mean, nobody's coming back from 5-0 down. Cavani's going to come on now. I mean, McTominay and Fred, he's going to. With all due respect to Ollie, the fact that he stood by McFred. Um, Mark, would we even give man of the match too? Oh, mate, I'm interested by the player ratings that you're going to do. Very interested to see what you're going to do with your player ratings because, I mean, just it is on the coaches. 100%, it's on the coaches, but the players have to take some responsibility as well for their own individual performances. I mean, Paul Pogba comes on and he's at fault for the 5th goal, by the way. Just gets caught in possession. Crazy. This is historic. This is the beginning of the end of Manchester United. They can get a better manager. Proves to us that even Ronaldo can't help Man United, says Cyrus. It's an experiment in the fact that you can have the players, but if you haven't got the coaches, it doesn't matter. It's beyond Ollie in or Ollie out now. Ollie needs to resign if he's got any pride and still wants what's best for the club. Derek, I never believe a player, another yellow card here. I never believe a manager would resign, but he probably should resign. The karma of Donny strikes back. May Ollie writhe for decades of after this match, says Kyle. And thank you for that from the members club, El Dudarino. Have you said Ollie out, says Flux? I've said he's got to go. Pogba again could have got a red. Don't know how that's not a red. I mean, we could have had we literally could have had 4 red cards. He's going to check it. He's gone. Pogba's gone. He's 100%. He is gone. If they've told him to check it, he's gone. That is a red card for me. Look, yeah, 100%. 100%. He's 2-footed. His studs are up. He's gone. Yeah, it's over the ball. It'd be a bloody miracle if he doesn't give him a red for that. 100% red card. Can't condone it. Can't say it's not going to be a red. He'll go straight for the red card and it'll be bye-bye Paul Pogba. No yellow. Red card. Half an hour to go. Pogba sent off. I tell you what, if you predicted Man United to be 5-0 down and we'd have 10 men at an hour with half an hour to go. And look, can I just say as well, if you're a Man United fan and you think that's not a red card, and I like Paul Pogba, he could have broken his leg. He might have broken his leg. It's Delow's coming on now. Even now, he can't bring Van der Beek on. You absolute stubborn prat, mate. I tell you what, he will still not bring him on. Unbelievable. The worst part is we have just seen a response from the team after half time. Seems Ollie couldn't manage that. I would take anyone between Conte and Zidane to replace him, says Steve. And just want to point out how much we need Varane. Ollie, just resign. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, says Sakin. Very, very good point, actually. Best day of my life, says Jared, who's a Liverpool fan. And an army of donkeys led by a lion will defeat an army of lions led by a donkey, says Genghis Khan. You know what I would say as well, though, and this might be the most important thing I say. Bruno's been brought off. He takes Bruno off before he takes off. Well, I suppose on a yellow card. What I would say is, though, Rashford's been brought off as well. It's still early enough in the season that a decent manager could come in and get us top four. That's what we've got to try, and that's why they should be sacking him now. Because if they don't sack him, we might not get top four. If they sack him now, we can still get top four. But it has to happen now. Like it has to happen now. You can't. And look at Keita. He's going. It's a horrific tackle by Paul Pogba. He's going off on a stretcher. I like Paul Pogba, but that tackle was wild, and it was 100% a red card. You know, and also he didn't need to go and see VAR. He's gone off on a fucking stretcher. Like 100% a red. Ollie's big tactical off with red classics, says America. Mark finally said Ollie out, says Lee. And if Ollie goes and we don't appoint someone good, this can get even worse for the coming years, says Lucas. I'm telling you, people don't want to talk about it. I've said this for about the last 2 years. I want the Glazers out before Ollie goes. That's not going to happen. But they're the worst thing about this football club. It's the Glazers. It's Ed Woodward. It's all these prats on the board who manipulate you. What have they been doing all week? You know the Red Army in the corner. Fantastic. All week they've been tweeting about them. This is what we want you to do, because they just want to maintain the status quo. I don't think they'll even sack Ollie. I think they'll find a way to go, we're on the right track. You know, I think they will, because they'll think there's easier games to come. Like, it gets to, we're a business, not a football club. A football club, whether you want to or not, whether you love Ollie or you don't, and I do love him. I love Man United more. That's basically it. I love Manchester United more than Paul Pogba, more than Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, anybody. We're a football club. We're not a business. He's got to go. It's as simple as that. It's staring you in the face, whether you like it or not. It's not about being right. I can't be arsed with these fans who will go, I told you, I've been telling you for years. It's not about that. How have you been telling us for years as well? Have you been doing it in an abusive, disrespectful way? Well, you can jog on then. Like, I'm not interested in point scoring. I'm interested in standards. The standards of this football club, when you're 5-0 down with 25 minutes to go against your biggest rival in your manner, is humiliating. Standards are in the cellar. Standards are digging the way to bloody Sydney. They're through the floor. It's a disgrace. It's got to stop. And the only salvageable point, I mean, how can David De Gea concede 5 goals and not actually have had a bad game? Like, De Gea couldn't have saved any of them. He couldn't have saved any of the 4 last time. The ground is emptying. Like, there's people teeming out of that ground. I've never seen Old Trafford like that. Even under Mourinho, that wasn't happening. Josh says, who will come in for Ollie? Honestly, mate, if I'm Zidane, if I'm Conte, if I'm free, I'm all over that job. Look at the squad. It's not like it's United under Moyes, which with an aging squad that needed a lot of work. It's actually a really good squad. Like this, people have mentioned Van der Beek. Oh, McTominay again, caught on the ball. I mean, absolutely trash. Right, but he's trash. Guys, this is Old Trafford where dynasties were made. We need a huge reaction against the Glazers now. Time to get serious, says Samoff. I feel like Pogba did that on purpose. He doesn't even want to play anymore. Don't blame him, says Jordan. This is rock bottom. Who even takes over if Ollie gets the sack tomorrow? Rotten to the core, says Andrew Rossi. Ollie got Man City, Spurs, Chelsea, even Arsenal before December, Mark. Ollie out now. I'm with you, says Len. Zane says, Mark, we're coming for you up the Arsenal. Well, hopefully by the time we play you, Zane, we'll have a better manager, in which case we might start to see some better results. So, he should be back now. He should be back soon, shouldn't he? I thought he was flying back. He said half time to me. Only positive is maybe we can get new manager before Donny goes, says Brian Spence. Mass exodus of United fans and the shots of Jovel shots of Liverpool fans in the corner says it all. It's over. He has to go, says Sean C. And remember, lads, Ollie said we're better than this. Stay in your seats. Sarcasm, says Nick. Mate, whether you think Pogba's sending off was giving up or not, what part of you thinks the rest of them haven't given up? We're 5-0 down. Like, it's Old Trafford. We're 5-0 down. Like, they ain't giving everything for this coach. Look, we've got, like, Ronaldo's a shadow of himself. Luke Shaw's a shadow of himself. Maguire, he couldn't raise a smile, let alone his hand. It's Fred and McTominay are running around with a smile on their face. But, passion, energy, and desire. Who'd have thought, eh? They'll be writing their tweets right now. Disappointing result, but the best thing you can do is go again in the next game. Can't not wait to watch this shambles on Match of the Day tonight. No tactics, no fight, no identity, says Matt. It's been you know what, Mohammed? It's been a crap game. I don't think Liverpool. Liverpool fans will enjoy it, but it's not been hard. They're jogging around. It's a piece of piss. Thanks for the super chat, Trong. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We've got a fan forum coming up after the show. We've also got my match reaction, player ratings, and we'll have fan vlogs as well. Getting so many bantered messages, I'm sure many of you are. Liverpool fans, whatever you do at United, don't sack Solskjaer. I actually do worry that it might get quite toxic at Old Trafford, because the way the club have acted over the last week, I think they've created divisions between the fan base by saying things like "you're not a real fan if you are critical" and stuff like that. And I think some fans have sort of believed and bought into that, and I think it might cause a few issues. You still think we're not going to lose to Liverpool? Still only in. Never mind. With it's up to your board nonsense, says JB. Don't know what you talk about. Don't start talking to me, mate. Don't be a fucking dickhead. Don't start attacking me about what's going on at United. I'm not on the board. I'm not the manager. I don't pick the team. So it's got fuck all to do with me or any other fan. So you can jog on with your stupid attitude. Grow up. Put your blame where it needs to go. You watch the games. I watch the games. The owners of that football club have been presiding over this shit for 8 years. Whether it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, David Moyes, we keep going through this cycle. It's the same bloody cycle. What a save by De Gea. It's the same cycle all the time. David De Gea, man of the match. Again. De Gea, man of the match. Again. And he's let 5 in. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Liverpool fans are chanting Ollie's at the wheel. Well, they will do, Tristan. They will. Can't even imagine what the game is going to be like at Anfield, says Kevin. Donny may well outlast Ollie now, says Iguana. And giving away cash in frustration, sick of watching this match. Felt bad for all of us, so go buy some bubbly, says Trong. And we go again and again and again. And disaster class. I've never seen anyone get it this wrong, especially at Old Trafford, says Jacob. What's the point in signing Sancho for 75 million just for him to sit on the bench against our biggest rival? Mate, there's so many reasons. And Scholes said after the Atalanta game, play like that against Liverpool and see what happens. He was spot on. They have taken the piss. We had a great manager. You all hated him. You deserve this. Even Mourinho had this squad. He would be begging for midfielders, says Ben Smith. Honestly, if Maguire just says again, obviously really disappointed with the result. Again, I'm losing it. He's just spouting other words. No passion, desire, organisation or neatness, says MVP. And do you think Ronaldo will still be here next season, says Matt Payne? If they want Ronaldo to stay here next season, they've got to do what everybody else needs to happen. They've got to make a change. I mean, there's 20 minutes to go in this. It's like water torture. I can't believe it's not full time. You know, if there was a big white towel, throw it on the pitch. I can't believe how long's left. It's crazy. Absolutely bloody crazy that there's still so long left. 100 million pounds sitting on the bench, and he still keeps on McTominay and Fred. Embarrassing, says Kay Nickel. But they run around a lot. I'm devastated. I'm sad, but Ollie he might do better in the future, but club should make a statement, says United Voice. Manchester United have only led for 140 minutes in the Premier League, which is less than Burnley, who haven't won a game yet, says Ken. Gary Neville is talking about Ollie being given time to build a new team, says Johnny White. Oh, God, you've got to be joking. I mean, look, I don't know whether Gary Neville's saying that, so I'm not going to call him out. But if anybody is saying that, that's putting your mates before the bloody football club. Like this is the lowest we've been since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. This is the lowest we have been. This is, without a shadow of the doubt, the worst result you could have since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. 5-0 down at home to Liverpool, and we need to build again. He's been here 3 years. You don't need to build anything. Tell you what, he can build. He can build a wooden car to roll off down the road and say goodbye. Cheerio. And I don't do it with any malice or disrespect. I do it from a footballing sense. Not good enough. Will they sack Ollie after this rule, says Keith? I don't think they will, you know. I think they'll try and ride it out. I don't know how, but I think they will try and ride it out. One good thing is that the midfield and defence are properly exposed by Liverpool working at 50%, says Tiddy. I hope it isn't Zidane next. Since Conte is out of question, who do you think will be our next manager? Ten Hag won't leave Ajax Abernaf until the summer. So, yeah. How many good managers have we had since Sir Alex? None. How the hell can a club like Man United not find a decent manager? It's a joke, says Sharon. I like Ollie, and I'm Ollie out. The team aren't performing. We've conceded 9 goals in our last 2. He's got to go now. He isn't good enough. Mate, we've conceded 11 in our last 3, if you add the 2 from Atalanta. I like Ollie. So that's Sean Turner. Truthfully, for your opinion, is he gone in the morning, says Clay. Truthfully, I don't think he will. Every day of the week, he should be sacked. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's Manchester United, Brighton, Maidstone United. This sort of result against your biggest rival at home, you've got to go. Like, it's as simple as that. And this is what people were saying to me this morning. If we lose, would you be Ollie out? And maybe I would have been. You know, if we'd lost 1-0, unluckily, maybe I would have been, because I would have said, well, it's 1 point in 12. But in these circumstances, it's very different to losing 1-0 unluckily and losing 5-0. And yeah, it's just very obvious to me what decision needs to be made. The players have never played for the manager today. More than anything else, it's a statement by the players to get in someone competent. There were rumours about this, says Rowan. Energy and passion has conceded Ollie more goals as well, says Nevin. You should have got Poch when he was available, says Liam C. If Gary said that, he's like a fake friend to Ollie who wants to watch him getting embarrassed but pretends to care, says Akil. If Ollie was a racehorse, you'd make him into glue, says Brian Wilson. Disgrace, the coaching staff are just friends learning the craft. The only chance is to get Conte in and save the season. Please leave. Like watching Mark on career mode, but seriously, it's time to go. Yeah, but I've turned my career around, Mikhail. My career mode's not this bad. I've actually made changes. Tactically, we're starting to get a little bit better. Yes, we're in the Conference League, but, you know, there is improvement. He says, I can't believe there's still 15 minutes to go. This is online torture. It's like being attacked by the Dementors in Harry Potter. It's just relentless. So much wasted potential from Ollie. Ronaldo doesn't deserve this for his legacy, says Electric God. If Ollie goes, Fred and Scotty played well, I might throw up. When Pogba got the red, he was smiling as he walked off. I think it was a wry smile, Alex. I don't think he was smiling in that way. I think, I think Pogba gets a lot of unfair criticism as it is. Look, we were losing 4-0 when Pogba came on. He's got nothing to do with why we've lost the game. And I don't think people should be looking at it like that. Certainly not. I think that we all know the real story behind why we've lost this game today. And it's certainly not about that Paul Pogba, and which was a straightforward red card. I just want to, I remember we were talking about the fact that we wouldn't be able to drop down the league table anymore. Interestingly, we still hold 7th place because we had a +6 goal difference. If we conceded another, we would go down to 8th. If we concede 2 more, we would go down to 9th. But we've destroyed our goal difference. We had a +6 goal difference. It's now +1, but we still stay in 7th place. 8 points off the top. Which is why I think they'll keep him, because if we did sack him now and a competent manager came in and we did go on a really good run, we could still technically get in a title race, but we could also technically, more than definitely, get in the top 4. But I think they'll let this get worse. I think they'll just see this as a bounce back ability thing. Yeah, I mean, the scary thing for me is that I don't know whether any Liverpool fans are watching. I don't think you've even played that well. I really don't. And that's not taking anything away from you. That's not sour grapes either. I just think you can play a lot better. I think you can. I think you've made it very easy. I think as disrespectful as this is to Ollie, I think Norwich would make Liverpool work harder than we have. Mourinho lost his job after Liverpool. We're 5-0 down to Liverpool under Ollie. Tomorrow morning going to be interesting. Doubt he will get the sacks, as Therese. I'm sorry, but who were Liverpool playing? Because this isn't the United I used to know, says Night Owl. Yeah, I mean, look, they show pictures of Rashford and Bruno. if they're genuinely sat there shocked and disappointed, I don't get that. That makes me more. If they're really disappointed and shocked, that makes me even more worried. Because if they actually went into that game trying, that's even more worrying because they were so shite. Retro, welcome to Members Club. Thank you, everybody who is tuning in. We will and have actually got the player ratings thing that you can start working on. I also just want to say, please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. It could be a very interesting few days. Obviously, if Solskjaer does get sacked and there is talk about other managers, we will be covering that on the channel. So bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, get involved with the channel. We've got a fan forum coming up after my match reaction. We'll have fan vlogs from the ground as well. You may have all forgotten as well, and maybe there's some Liverpool fans who fancy this. We have got a competition today on the stream. It's from Spond, which is an app you can download, an organising app for events, etc. Mane's on. Hold on a minute. Blocked by Maguire. The reason I say it is top line of the description. You can enter the competition to win 2 tickets to a match of your choice. All you've got to do to enter the competition is hit the link at the top line of the video description and tell us a story about who's had the most impact on your career, a coach that's had the most impact on your career. Enter the competition. The best one wins 2 tickets to a match of their choice. Guarantee no one's going to put Solskjaer. Well, a Liverpool fan could. There you go. You could win with that. I'm a Liverpool fan. The coach that's had the biggest impact on me is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's given me the best day of my life. But however you want to enter, it's free to enter through the website on the top line of the description. And the winner gets 2 tickets to a match of their choice, which even United fans might say not United under Ole anymore. I have always been an Ole inner, but it's getting harder to defend him now. This has been crushing. Something's got to give, says Javaris. Mark, you stop talking about the title races. You're sounding deluded. I'm not talking about a title race under Ole, Amit. I'm just saying if we sacked Ole and brought Zidane in and he did well, it's still early enough in the season to salvage something. Unlikely to be a title, but top 4's in jeopardy now. I'm not feeling that devastated after 5-0. If it was 1-0, I would feel it. I couldn't have slept, says Summit. I don't know what that's all about. Mark, I think it's time you introduced the 0 out of 10 in the player manager ratings, says Sam Walton. Yeah. Well, look, I need to get you the link for that because I know people want to do the player ratings. You can mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. It's on the unitedstand.com, but I will get you the link to pop in the chat as well. So mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average, and put a star next to your man of the match, which again is going to have to be David De Gea for me, even though he's conceded 5 goals. How does that happen? How does that happen? Well, it happens because he's the best player on the pitch and he's the only one that is constantly giving it all. And don't get me started on Harry Maguire because as a captain, I've never seen such a poor performance as a captain. I totally put this blame on the coaches who are not good enough. McTominay has just missed a sitter. Timo McTominay. On the back post, free header. Would have been offside anyway. Can't even score at Old Trafford in front of the Stretford end when you're 5-0 down. Shamon. Seven minutes and it'll all be over. Should be the last 7 minutes of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United managerial career. Should be. With this board, who knows? The link is in the video description for player ratings now. You just have to scan down to the second paragraph and you'll see player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Joyce was talking there about Salah. Look, everything I've said can be clipped before the game because I look a complete twat, which isn't the first time. But I don't think it's about being a twat. I think it's about actually having standards of where Manchester United should be. And, Mo Salah hasn't always done well against Manchester United. There's no doubt he's one of the best players in the world at the moment, but he hasn't always done well against Manchester United. He's got a hat-trick. He's annihilated us. But Liverpool have annihilated us. It's not that. I'm just very surprised that how poor Man United have been, and this just shouldn't happen. Even at 2-0, I thought, we might come back into this game. But we spoke about this on Wednesday. We did it against Villarreal. We did it against Atalanta. Last season, we did it against West Ham, Southampton. We've been doing this for a long time, and it gets to a point where it won't happen. And today has been one of those days. It's not happened. And, it hasn't deserved to happen, has it? There's been plenty of time for us to do something, and we've not been able to raise our game. And that's just the way it is. It's not nice, but there's another foul there. McTominay goes in there for the book. Thanks for the super chat there. Beat the traffic FC, says Declan Daddison. We don't have the right squad for Conte. We need to throw big bucks at Zidane, says Sean Finity. Zidane's the one I would go for. I actually quite liked the idea of Zidane after Mourinho. Pogba should never... in fact, I think if you remember from those videos, Zidane was the one I wanted then. Pogba should never play again for me. That was total idiocy what he did. Ollie out from now on. Horrific day, says Santino. What do you think about the crowd chanting Ollie's at the wheel and Ollie gives a wave? I'm confused. I think it's the Scousers. Kuba. I think that's who's singing that. I feel sorry for Alex Ferguson. He's devastated. Maguire and Ollie need to go. I'm sorry, but I said it, says Jack. I think Maguire's been a disgrace, mate. Individually, I don't really want to go after individual players, but they've all been pretty shit today, apart from De Gea. But I said in the week, you know what? What did I say in the week? The players have got to do what they've got to do, and that was sort of code for if this ain't right, make sure it ends ASAP, because they've got careers. We're fans. They know more than us about what's going on the training ground. And I think we now know. We do now know. And that's why in the week, I wasn't saying publicly for the players to down tools, because you should never do that. But what I did say is the players know what's going on. If it ain't good enough, they need to make a change. And maybe that's what we've seen here today. With the players we have, we should be performing better than last season, says Mark Silverbridge. If Ollie can't use them, the board should find someone who can. Mark, we need Incy right after the game, bro, says Alfred. We'll have him on in the morning. Not sure that Zidane or Conte would want to come into this club right now, says Threefold Path. Every single team we've played this season has had 2+ key players out, says Nathan. Great point. People being generous in the player ratings. I don't know. I haven't looked at them yet. We'll do that on the match reaction. And I did say after the Leicester game, if we lost to Liverpool, I probably would say those words. I will be saying those words. And people have said I was scared to say those words. I was not scared to say Lou Van Gaal. I was one of the first persons to say Van Gaal out. I wasn't scared to say Mourinho out. And I'm not scared to say those words that I'm going to be saying on the match reaction. But I'll save you them for that. If you want to clip it or whatever, because people think it's a powerful thing to say, I don't think it is. I think it's an individualistic thing. Scholesy was right. Klopp must have been rubbing his hands while watching Manchester United versus Atalanta. You guys need me if you want to win, says Mikel. And Ollie at the wheel, pathetic is what I feel. We got McTominay, Lindelof and Fred. Poor Rashi wishes he wasn't Mancunian born and bred. All the cluelessness, says Adaraj. And Spurs next is tough. Mate, I couldn't give a shit about Spurs next. I couldn't give a shit about Man City in a couple of weeks. For me, it's about this football club acting like a football club over the next 24 hours. We all know what's got to happen. It's astonishing how Ollie has managed to absolutely destroy this squad, which is literally a DM away. I'd never expect a manager to resign because of the money involved. Oh, Rio Ferdinand's actually getting in the replies of people who are calling him out. people have had a go at him, saying you've got to take some responsibility because you've been biasly backing your mate. And he's actually replied. What was this one he said? I've just seen it come up on my Twitter. So somebody said, Rio Ferdinand and Gary Neville have to take their own share of the blame for this humiliation. We're one family at United, but they lowered the standards for this fan base because the manager was your mate. It's a disgrace, and we are rightly being mocked in world football. And he said, shut up, your egg. I don't know what that means. Is that a good put down on the streets these days, calling someone an egg? All right. To be honest, I'd say that that's probably not a guilty conscience, but they've probably hit a nerve because they know what they've done. They have been backing their mate, and they've been unwilling to look. These people have got very big voices. They're legends of our club, and they chose to stick by a mate and other mates who are on the coaching staff rather than call out what was absolutely obvious, that the coaching was crap and has been crap for a long time. And they chose to prioritise friendships over what was best for the club. And this is why, for me, it's best not to employ ex-players because, one, there's nobody out there with the CV, and two, they get protected. The great thing about having a Mourinho in charge or a Van Gaal is if the standards drop, then you don't do it. But the crowd are all singing Ollie's at the wheel, I think. What's that? What is happening to this football club if they're singing that? I respect it because, you know, it's showing loyalty, but, you know, you're backing an individual over an institution. That's what you're doing. No, it's Man United fans behind the goal doing it. I could sing in it. I could see him behind the goal. It was Man United fans behind the goal. I don't even support the club, but seeing this huge team shafted this much by the board is horrendous, says Reese. 6 fire alarms to beat a sleep-deprived Atalanta team 3-2, but Scholes saw through it. The writing's been on the wall, says Was Up. And he has to go tonight, Mark. I cried literal tears for a while. I saw Sir Alex nearly to tears, and I started crying myself, says Norton. I don't think Sir Alex would say keep him. I really don't. I think he would know what's going on here. Donny van der Beek is probably hiding a smile. He probably is. I'd be muttering, you fucking idiot. You won't even give me a minute. Won't even give me a minute. Ronaldo, can he get a late goal? No. Van Dijk's been at Ronaldo all game as well. It's just humiliating. It's humiliating. My match reaction will be good, so make sure you tune in. I've been quite low-key on this because I knew this match reaction was going to be big. We will be doing player ratings. We will have a fan forum after that. We'll have fan vlogs as well. There's still lots to come. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone who has subscribed. The final whistle hasn't quite gone yet, but we're getting very close to it. Really? Well, how would they do that? And there's the final whistle. There is the final whistle. I don't know. Maybe you could tell me what the noise is in the ground because I can't hear it on my ears because I'm just listening to what you lot have got to say and other things in my ear. But Manchester United lose 5-0. I take no pleasure in seeing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer walk off like that. You know, it just makes me sad. That is only a cruel human being would take pleasure from that. It's sad to see him walk off. But as I said, compensation, you don't walk. But if he cares about this football club, I think he's got to walk. But I don't think he will. Look, match reactions coming up. Link is in the video description for the player ratings and the competition as well. I will see you on the match reaction in about 60 seconds. And yes, I will be answering that question about where we go from here. And those words will be spoken. I'll speak to you in a minute.